Star Band. You'll relive an event that changed the life of Johnny Cash and changed music forever. Tickets at Ticketmaster.ca and at the Jubilee box office. Brought to you by Stars and Stories Live. The Jason Gregor Show.
For the Seattle line. He'll get it to the slot. Henrique in front. Scores! Matt Savoy redirects the pass from Henrique.
On Sports 1440.
In a 16-minute beatdown. And the pass is caught by McCaffrey for the touchdown.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
On the ground, it's off the ball. First baseman low. One run is in. Here comes Chisholm. 2 runs are in. And the New York Yankees now lead it 4-0.
What a fabulous, positive Friday. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching Sports 1440, as well as Oilers Nation. It is Friday, and man, what a weekend this is going to be. Coming up in the world of sports, we got the ALDS, NLDS going on. Toronto hosting New York. Seattle is hosting Detroit. The Dodgers are in Philadelphia. And the Milwaukee Brewers are hosting the Chicago Cubs. And that is obviously the closest, at least when it comes to travel distance, between the two. Coming up on the show is loaded today. We'll hear from Kris Knoblauch, fresh off a 3-year contract extension with the Edmonton Oilers, and well-deserving to say the least. Kris Knoblauch has 94 wins in his first 151 games. He is on pace. If he wins 6 of the first 10 games, actually 6 of the first 11 games, he will be the 6th fastest coach. If the Oilers, if they go 6-0, he would end up being the third fastest coach to 100 wins all time. So pretty impressive. The team is good, and we'll see where they go. Oilers lineup tonight. We'll get to it. It's going to be heavy with veterans. McDavid, Draisaitl, Frederick are going to play on a line as will be the case to start the season. You're also going to see Nugent Hopkins with Podkolzin and Mangiapane. Tomasek between Kapanen and Howard. Philp with Henrique and Matt Savoy. On defense, Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Stetcher, Kulak, and Emberson. If you're wondering why Regula's not playing, well, he's already played 5 preseason games, while the other guys in that battle, Stetcher and Emberson, have each played 4. So that's probably part of it. Jake Wallman did skate today, and Knoblauch fully expects him to be ready on Wednesday to start the regular season, but they will not push it. He won't go tonight. Max Jones skated with the Oilers and then actually came out on the ice later, skated with Zach Hyman. Yes, I saw a Zach Hyman appearance today after practice, did some shooting and working. I was watching him close. He's shooting backhand. He's shooting forehand, stick handling the puck. Like, doesn't mean he's ready to play, but he's obviously trending in the right direction. So that's a good sign for Zach Hyman. Stuart Skinner was on the ice this morning with Calvin Pickard, and Stuart Skinner was scheduled to start. However, I think Skinner might be missing this game with illness. There's an illness bug going around the team. The Oilers have called up Matt Tompkins from Bakersfield, so he will fly and meet the team in Vancouver for the game today. And pretty good chance you're going to see Calvin Pickard get the start in goal tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. That's not 100% confirmed, but it's kind of the sense I got leaving the rink today. There's an illness going around. Matthias Janmark will not play tonight. He is out a week, according to Knoblauch. So he'll be banged up. Now, does that impact the Oilers roster? No. I know there are some people that are frustrated about Janmark, and I get in a way, but I didn't think they were going to put him on waivers, especially when you look at salary cap situation and everything else. They want to get as close to the cap as they can, and he being a $1.45 million player gets him a lot closer than guys who have $700,000 or $800K, right? Well, not 7. I guess there are some 775s. But after looking at the Oilers roster and everything else, here's kind of what I've deduced who I think is going to play out for the Oilers roster. So obviously there's some easy choices, right? Draisaitl, McDavid, Frederick are on the line, Mangiapane, Nugent Hopkins, Podkolzin, and they're locks on the team. Kapanen to me is a lock on the team. Adam Henrique, he's a lock on the team. So there's 8 forwards. Matt Savoy to me is a lock because due to his performance bonuses, well, how he's played, but just on the off chance, because he doesn't require waivers, that they thought about sending him down. If he's not on the opening day roster, because he has $1 million in performance bonuses, then instead of being an $886,000 cap hit, when you recall him, he'd be a $1.886 cap hit. Well, they're not going to, that's $1 million. That's massive. So they're not going to do that. He's a lock on the roster. Tomasic is going to be here in opening night, but he won't be here on opening day roster. He doesn't have performance bonuses and he doesn't require waivers. The Oilers need to send down 3 players. So you can send him down and then recall him the minute you put Zach Hyman on LTIR the next day. So I think he's one. Max Jones, coach said he's going to be cleared. They expect him to be ready. So if that's the case, then I think Max Jones will be another guy. He'll be placed on waivers and then for the purpose of reassignment. So then that leaves one guy left, and that is out of Regula, Stetcher, Philp, Lazar. Right? I have Ike Howard on the roster as well. Now, there's a slight, and I say slight chance, if Jones doesn't clear and isn't ready, you could send Howard down. Now, he also has performance bonuses, but they're only $250K. So it's not ideal, but you could do it if you had to. I still think Ike Howard is going to be on the roster. To me, he's like virtually a lock unless something strange happens. So it really comes down to Lazar, Philp up front, Regula, and Stetcher. Now, I've had Emberson because he makes $1.3 million. He's kind of in the mix, I guess, maybe, because there's one caveat to consider for the Oilers. And when you look at that, sending guys down, they don't want to risk losing someone on waivers. Damon Hunt got claimed on waivers already. Minnesota claimed him on waivers from Columbus, right? Already. So it happens. And when I look at just the Boston Bruins, if you look at their defense core right now, I could see why they would look and say, oh, Alex Regula's on waivers. Because here's who they have. You got McAvoy, Lindholm, Zadorov, Mason, Lowry. Okay, those 4. Then you got Yoki Haru, Andrew Peak, Jordan Harris. Like, they sold on Jordan Harris? I don't think so. So I could see Boston being a team for sure for Regula, just because his size, his age. Obviously, the organization liked him before. They had acquired him in that trade. So I get it. Curtis Lazar, Noah Philp. You have to look at the role they're expecting those guys to play. So if you're a 4th line center, what are the things that they want from their 4th line center? Well, I can tell you, they want face-offs and good on the penalty kill. And if you look at Noah Philp's face-off percentage in the preseason, not great. And those are the little things. Yes, skates well, does all the other stuff, but you're kind of a specialist in a way when you're a 4th line center. And ideally you want a guy there who can kill penalties. You just do, because it gives them a role. It's going to allow them to stay in the game. So you look at Philp and, he's been okay. He's actually gotten better the last few games in the face-off circle. Right now he's up to 23 wins, 19 losses. So that's going to help him. The penalty kill, now that's the area. So I know they haven't been enamored with their penalty kill even in the preseason. And if I had to, based on conversations I've had, if I was leaning towards 4 forwards who would be the main 4 right now on the penalty kill, it would be Nugent Hopkins, Mangiapane, Kapanen, and I think Savoy. Those would be the four. Now, McDavid and Draisaitl, I'll tell you right now, they're going to kill. I think they're going to kill more penalties this year. Watch for it, see it. We saw it with Florida. Two of their best guys are on the penalty kill. Now, I don't think they're going to be the top four, but don't be surprised to see McDavid and Draisaitl out on the penalty kill. We've seen it in preseason. You're going to see it. Now, I know some of you are wondering, well, Ike Howard's not a penalty killer, right? Frederick's not a penalty killer. Adam Henrique, was a penalty killer. The system they're doing now, I'm not sure his foot speed. He's the net front guy on the second unit power play. That's where I see him play. Now, Podkolzin is one who might get in, but my sense is maybe not. So Noah Philp could be in the mix as the number 5 guy, him or Curtis Lazar. And if you listen to the coach today, when he was asked about Curtis Lazar, he used the R word, reliable. And for a coach, that is massive. When a coach, hey, Curtis Lazar, you know what? The guy's reliable. He's smart. I'm telling you, it matters. Right? It matters. I get size, I get speed, I get all the other things. But when you're looking at a specific role, so we'll see. So Noah Philp tonight, he's going to play. Lazar didn't look like he was going to be in the lineup. And so Noah Philp, this is his chance. Win some faceoffs. You're going up against a Vancouver lineup that is heavy with an NHL flair. They're going to have majority of their guys in the lineup tonight. Jeff Patterson, who's actually going to join us here in a few moments, he had tweeted out the lines earlier today, right? You got Pedersen with Besser and Nebraska, Hedel with Garland and Baines, Coots from Sherwood Park, local kid, having himself a heck of a camp. Good for him. He's with Kiramaki and Kane, Evander, and then Teddy Bluger. So now, if you go up against Coots in the faceoff circle, that's one thing. But Pedersen, Hedel, and Bluger, those guys are all 3 legit NHL center icemen. And if you're watching the game, because it is on television tonight, look for Noah Philp and how he does on faceoffs, who he's against. Because if he's lighting up Coots, that's great. To be honest, they probably don't want him out there. If I'm Noah Philp, I'm like, I want to go up against the NHL guys and show them that I can do well against NHL center icemen. That's the key. So those are the things to watch for with Noah Philp tonight. Now, Stetcher, Regula. I have a hard time thinking the Oilers are going to put Regula on waivers. I'm having a hard time. They've lost some young guys lately, offer sheets, stuff like that. Are they going to do it? My gut tells me no. And I could make the same case for Philp, although he is 27. It's a little bit different. But I think Regula is going to be here. So that means one of Stetcher or Emberson. And when I look at the salary cap and the numbers, and Stetcher is making $500K less. But when you want to get closer to the cap on day one so you can maximize the LTIR capture of Zach Hyman, that'll play a factor. I would not rule out a potential trade. So I'm not saying it's, I've heard that one's cooking. I'm just saying I wouldn't rule it out that's the discussion that's going on right now amongst Stan Bowman and his staff. Just because you don't want to just lose a guy for nothing. It's not ideal. Maybe you can get a draft pick back, maybe get something else, who knows? But that's something to watch for between now and Monday or Sunday when the official roster needs to be put in for the Edmonton Oilers. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, would you give Tompkins a start? No. No, not at all. He's not on my NHL roster. No, I am starting Calvin Pickard all day long tonight. So, I don't even know what this rumor is. Hey, Gregor, what do you make of the Hall of Fame rumors on Monday? What? What's the rumor, Connor? What's the Hall of Fame rumor?
Well, it involves our very own Kevin Karius, and he was supposed to apparently work something on the Hall of Fame room on Monday, but it was rescheduled. So in the calm nature of Edmonton Oilers fans, they're trying to put it together that could there be a new announcement coming on that day. And that's why this event that Karius was supposed to work will not be happening until Tuesday.
Dun, dun, dun. Really? That's what we're talking about?
Yeah. That's what I am led to believe it is, yes. Karius had mentioned it. I saw he was getting some love on the NHL rumor social media sites. Kevin Karius of Sports 1440 reporting. An event was changed dates.
Oh, my gosh. So the event was changed dates now. Does that mean because of the room availability? Does it mean because of the event itself isn't ready? I don't know. I know Oiler fans would love it. Kris Knoblauch signed today, 3-year contract extension. Oiler fans would love nothing more, I'm sure, than to go into the season. Connor McDavid signed contract. And is it possible? Sure. I'll be honest. It's not a story I'm digging in on every day because every time I've talked about it, there's been nothing changing. So I still believe Connor McDavid will sign an extension. Do I know the date? I'm not going to pretend I do. Not at all. I always thought he would probably sign in September. Well, that didn't happen. Now, I've been saying that from, earlier, like in June or July. I thought that's when it would happen. But now I could see, like, there's one side that says, yeah, Connor McDavid, you know what? He had conversations, took his time, which he was totally allowed to do. And then he decided, guess what? I don't want to have this when the season begins, so I'll announce it Monday. Sure, I get the theory behind it. But then I also see the other side where he's like, why do I have to rush? I don't believe the contract will be as much of a distraction for Connor McDavid as it will be for the elevated heart rate of some Oiler fans, right? And that's fine. I get why Oiler fans are nervous about it. Even though you probably should be pretty confident, I guess until it's done, they're always saying the old Dumb and Dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance. So I guess there's a chance he could somehow decide not to sign her. I'd be a little bit surprised this year. Hey, Gregor, the Oilers are not doing a wall of honor this year. You know why they're taking a break? Yeah, they're looking at it and they kind of they want to revamp a little bit of the looking at it that, you get through some names pretty quick and then all of a sudden, because I think there was an initial surge. Okay, great. And then it's like, no, they want to ensure that it's really, truly a Hall of Fame Ring of Honor. It's not just a lot of people that I think it was pretty good. And I have no problem with that. I think they're kind of revamping what the stipulations are for people. I would firmly expect that next year you will have an announcement and they'll be voting. Now, does somebody get in? That's the other question. But there will be the vote process again next year. So we'll see. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, boys, there's lots of rumors about McDavid. Just go online. They're crazy from day to day. Gregor, you're smart to avoid it. Wow. If you're going to get caught up in every rumor about, because from one day it's, I think he's going to sign. The next, no, he's unhappy about this or that. Like, I don't know. Why would anyone say he's unhappy about the roster when the roster hasn't played any games? You don't know how good or bad it's going to be. So I probably suggest maybe for your own sanity, you can mute certain words. So maybe you want to mute McDavid contract for a while. It might be better for you. So who knows? Who knows? Coming up on the show today, we got a great show. Jeff Patterson from Rink Wide in Vancouver. We'll be by Lori Ann Munzer in the Mind. Will join us. Dave Naylor. We'll talk some football, CFL and NFL. Tater in the 2-minute warning. Craig Button, TSN scout and analyst. We'll be by at 4:20. Spec, LT. We got Wanye Gretz. Lots of your texts. 833-401-1440. We do know all the matchups in MLB that we talked about. What about last night, Connor? That's why you play the games. And a lot of people, myself included, thought the Rams were going to walk, and they didn't. They walked to a loss against the 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, we said it. Niners are a good coach team. Divisional matchup. I didn't think they'd win by any means, but I wasn't sure about that spread. 9.5 points. I think it dropped down to 8.5 eventually. But yeah, give the Niners credit. They're walking wounded. When they get healthy, Gregor, watch out for this team because they're only going to add a lot of weapons as the season goes on here, and they're playing some good ball. Kyron Williams, man. I wish there was minus 15 points in fantasy, Gregor, for a fumble like that because I'm playing him in 2 leagues and he crushed me. But what a fumble, and then the stop at the end of the game. I like that Coach McVay takes all the blame for it, shoulders it, but I think they just got to execute better. You got to be able to find a way to get that yard.
Yeah. No. Well, what about the fumble at the 1 yard line?
Geez, that give him minus 20 fantasy points. Crucial situation, fumble. Then I wouldn't be losing by so much in 2 leagues. But yeah, it was a really entertaining game as well. I really enjoyed that one.
Quick break. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is sounding the call. Don't struggle through winter with a furnace you can't trust. For maintenance before winter strikes, call Legacy. Call Legacy. For furnace tune-ups and repairs to give peace of mind. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. Or to scrap your old furnace for a brand new high-efficiency one. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. And with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your new furnace, it's gotta be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Buy more, save more, give more at The Brick. This week at The Brick, save up to 30% off furniture and up to 15% off major appliances. Your stellar night's sleep starts with select mattresses up to 40% off. Or score a Made in Canada mattress from just $159. Find store-wide savings on upholstery, major appliances, and big screen TVs, with a portion of proceeds donated to the Stollery. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
At Fountain Tire, we're fluent in saving you money.
Fluent?
Yes, we've mastered the language of deals. Like right now, you can save up to 25% off select tires and up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Plus, $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires. All until October 18th.
I'm sorry, I don't speak deals.
Spend less, save more when you buy round black things from us.
Oh, got it.
Restrictions apply. Book your appointment online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. It's not lost on me that this radio ad competes with a lot of other dealerships on the air. So what sets us apart? Honesty. At Northgate, we believe in giving you the very best price we can with the most value possible. We aren't giving away free trips or paying off your credit cards, but it is my promise you will get exactly what you paid for every time. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
Whoa, who turned off all the lights? Experience the new charcoal menu at Booster Juice.
Charcoal menu?
Introducing the Eclipse Smoothie, Blackout Booster Mixer, and Midnight Booster Ball.
Where's that voice coming from?
Dark and delicious, made with activated charcoal.
Can we please turn the lights back on?
Sorry, I'm just excited about the new charcoal menu.
Wow, that is good.
Right?
Available now, only at Booster Juice.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday rolls through. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. I know a reminder, tomorrow and Sunday, Jays playoffs right here on Sports 1440. So be sure if you're driving around, you want to listen to the game, well, you got it right here. So Jeff Patterson's going to be joining us momentarily as we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And reminder, the veggie burger, try it this weekend. And then on Monday, it is back. One of your favorite games, Monopoly. Huge opportunity to win great prizes. Enjoy some of McD's favorites. So I can get it only at McDonald's. As Jeff Patterson from Rink Wide in Vancouver joins us, as the Oilers and the Canucks will both wrap up their preseason tonight. And both teams will be icing a pretty heavy NHL roster. Jeff, I was looking up and down your tweet about the Canucks roster and who's going to go in it. So I guess my question is, you had like the guys, Ratty Carlson on the quote fifth line. If you look at the top four lines, do you think that'll be the top four lines on opening night, or is Coots still, just because his age and everything else, is that still a big decision that's up in the air?
Yeah, look, there are still spots in this lineup that are up for grabs. And so this is the final night of preseason for the Vancouver Canucks and final audition. If you're one of those guys that was on that fifth line, maybe some nail-biting time, because you can't put your best foot forward if you're sitting in the press box. So all those guys would like to be playing, but it's not just Coots, the first-round pick from June. Lecker-Mackey over on the right side on that line with Evander Kane. This is a guy that can be sent back to the minors, doesn't require waivers. And so he's had a reasonable preseason, but I think he needs a big night here. And really, the big question, and the news of the week out here, was Nils Höglander earlier in the week needed ankle surgery, out 8 to 10 weeks. So unfortunate for him, got hurt in a preseason game out in Abbotsford last week. But that really opens up a spot, certainly in the top 9, but maybe even the top 6 for this hockey club. And Arshdeep Bains, who, has figured it out at every level, led the Western Hockey League in scoring a bunch of years ago, has developed into a nice player in the American Hockey League, was a huge part of Abbotsford's run to the Calder Cup, but in 21 NHL games has 1 point. And he's getting a top 6 audition tonight on a line, essentially the second line, with Philip Hedl and Connor Garland. And there is a fair bit of angst out here in this market that he's the guy, that he just hasn't shown in his brief time in the National Hockey League, that the offensive chops are there. Now, usually when he gets called up, you know how it works, right? Gets plugged in on a fourth line role, plays 8 minutes, and people wonder why the offense isn't there. So he can skate, and he thinks the game well, but I just don't know that there is enough NHL polish to be playing and holding down a top 6 role legitimately. So, a big night for Arshdeep Bains as well. Local guy, it's been a nice story, but at some point, local boy makes good. That storyline can only have so many legs. At some point, it's what have you done for me at the NHL level? So I think a fair bit on the line for a guy like Arshdeep Bains in this one tonight.
Looking at now, I noticed that Joseph and Forbert aren't playing. Is that just rest those guys necked up?
Yeah, Forbert, it's load management. They had the big lead in Calgary the other night. He played one shift in the third period, and the coaching staff said, hey, at this stage, we know what Derek Forbert is, so we know where his value comes. It's in penalty killing. Don't need him to go out and take a regular shift when you're up 8-1. P.O. Joseph is dealing with a nagging groin injury that's kept him off the ice now for a couple of days. Still a week out from opening night, so I'd be surprised if it was enough that he started the season on IR, but he's really a 7 or 8. I guess there's a world in which he is the 6th defenseman, but the Canucks are so excited about the push from below with this trio of young guys, Victor Mancini, the other Elias Pettersson, and Tom Willander, their first rounder from a couple of years ago. All have shown well here. Pettersson and Willander are going to be the bottom pair tonight. Mancini's had a terrific camp and is sitting this one out, but I think he has made the hockey club, so we'll see how it all shakes down. P.O. Joseph was brought in on the second day of free agency. 200 NHL games, has been a tweener. He knows he's a depth guy, and ultimately it's so where does he fall on this depth chart? But yeah, right now, unable to play, unable to skate, so he's on the sidelines, and we'll see if he has to start the season on IR.
Now, you got a lot of Pattersons in Vancouver now. It's funny that Elias and Elias, they're spelled the same, but enunciated different. Any reason why?
No, but it makes it easier for those of us. So, and that's first and foremost. In my world, it's what's easiest for the media. You're right, Marcus Pettersson was brought in. And of course, then to make matters a little more complicated, they drafted Riley Patterson last year. So somewhere down the line, you might have 3 Pettersons and a Patterson, and then another Patterson up in the press box watching and documenting it all. So we're taking over here, Gregor. Look out. That's all I got for you.
It's all over. Yeah, you only have 1 T, though. You might just have to put another T in another cast. Just add some letters. Just make it up, right? Be like, oh, no, totally. We're all, all the same lineage. We'll see. When you look at the Canucks top to bottom, how's Kane looked? in camp. I think this is only his second preseason game, correct?
Yeah. So, my glib answer was I haven't really seen him. He played last week at home against the Kraken. I joked on our own show this morning that apparently he only plays Friday nights in the preseason. That's it, because he played last Friday against Seattle and here against his former team. I asked him, at this stage of his career, 2 preseason games, enough to be ready to go. And he kind of shot me daggers and said, I don't need to play any preseason games. And he's probably not wrong. But look, he didn't play much hockey last year. He's come to a new organization. So in terms of building some chemistry and that type of stuff, Adam Foote kind of curiously said yesterday that he wanted to play Evander in Calgary on Wednesday, but just didn't think that the Saddledome was a place for a former Oiler in the preseason. I don't know what he was insinuating, that it was going to become a Battle of Alberta even without the full Oilers involved. Anyways, in an 8-1 game, maybe it would have gone sideways. Who knows? But Evander was left behind. So he hasn't played a road game in the preseason, so it's been pretty cushy that way. And he's playing with these 2 young kids, and part of that is a little bit of muscle and heft and the protection factor. But in practices, he's been fine. At this stage, I think we all know what he is, and his value doesn't come from running his own teammates through the end boards in training camp and practices. I think he'll be ready to go when they turn him loose next Thursday against the Calgary Flames. So he's just kind of doing that veteran thing and ramping it up so that he's ready to go when they start playing for keeps.
Well, I'll say this about Kane. He's not one who, loves to play. So I'm sure he might have said, hey, I don't want to play. I'll be fine. That was, wait till I get during the year. He has a tendency maybe not want to practice either. So that's, we'll see how that goes. I noticed he was on the third line. Is that where you expect him to play?
Well, the Höglander injury complicates matters. I think that there is absolutely an opening there. And again, this is the final preseason game, but it's still auditioning for some others elsewhere. I won't be the least bit surprised if Evander
he's on the
plays.
second line, right?
Yeah, once they get going here. But I think they want to see, can Lekkerimäki hang in the NHL? Like, he got into 24 games last year, scored 3 times. Kid's got a big-time shot. That's his separator and his calling card. But at the NHL level, you got to do more than shoot the puck, because they can all shoot the puck. So, I think Evander, they've put him in a position tonight just, again, to sort of chaperone the young guys. And when push comes to shove next week, I would expect that he'll start the season a little bit higher. But that also speaks to, the lack of depth that the Vancouver Canucks have at the top of their lineup, that 34-year-old Evander Kane, basically a cast-off from the Oilers, is coming in here and holding down a top 6 role. And that's why Höglander's injury, like this team 2 years ago, Jim Rutherford made that statement on the eve of training camp that if everything goes right, he believed that this could be a playoff team. And then, boy, did everything go right in the 50-win, 109-point season, pushing the Oilers to Game 7 in the second round. Here they are 2 years later, and it's sort of in that same boat that a lot has to go right? Like Elias Pettersson, the original, the forward, just so we're all clear. He's got to get back to being some semblance of the 100-point player. I don't know if he'll get back to that. Thatcher Demko's got to stay healthy, and Quinn Hughes has to really do so much of the heavy lifting. And then from there, other guys have to pull their weight. Now, through camp, Quinn Hughes hasn't played much, but in the games he has, he's been absolutely dialed, been the best player on the ice, making it look easy. And maybe the most encouraging news out here on the West Coast is that Thatcher Demko looks happy, he looks healthy, and he looks good. And I know it's only been a training camp scrimmage and a handful of preseason games, but just looking, he's been so crisp in his movements and his patterns and looks big in the net. And he has the capacity to truly change the conversation around the Vancouver Canucks. If he gets back to Vezina finalist form, and you've got Kevin Lankinen to spell him off on those nights when he's not going to go in a condensed schedule, Thatcher Demko being one of the best players in the Vancouver Canucks, I really do think has the ability to sort of reshape what people should think of this Vancouver Hockey Club, and not even out of the preseason yet, but the early returns from a guy that basically had a write-off season last year with all his injuries. He has looked good, and I think that there's some real excitement around the hockey club because of that fact.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly. Their whole season could change on the health and the play of Thatcher Demko. If he comes back and he's healthy and plays to what he's shown in the past when he's healthy, then yeah, they're a legit playoff team, no question. I actually think Vancouver, I actually picked them to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people that are sort of waffling about ultimately will this team finish above the bar. But yeah, I mean, a healthy Thatcher Demko and the solid 1-2 punch of Demko and Lankinen, you have to think that, again, and this is all predicated on Thatcher Demko getting back to that form that we've seen from him. But if he can get anywhere close to that, then like on a lot of nights, they should have an edge in goal, whoever they're facing. And we know if you got goaltending at this level, you got a chance. So, yeah, I mean, to me, that's their path to the playoffs, though, is that Thatcher Demko returns to all-star form, and then that just buys them more of a margin of error if some of the things out in front of them aren't going the way that they had hoped. But again, you know, how many times it was on with you last year, and obviously it was the Pettersson and the JT Miller and the dysfunction. The vibes are high, and the noise level has been relatively low here through camp in the preseason. So it's been quite refreshing, quite frankly, that we've been able to focus on actual storylines around this hockey club this year.
Yeah, that's something that they definitely need, no doubt about it. Jeff, lastly, when you look at the Canucks and then you see Vegas and LA and Edmonton, do you see them catching any of those other three at this point this season? And do you think LA is at all susceptible to be caught in the stand?
I do, just based on certainly the age of a lot of their defensemen. I mean, that system has shown that it's durable and stands up. And obviously last year, we were one of the best defensive teams in the National Hockey League, but Drew Doughty's a year older. Cody Ceci and Brian Dumoulin, some questions around both of those guys and what they can deliver. And look, Anze Kopitar is Anze Kopitar, but he's announced that this is it for him. He's another year older. Can he stay at the level that he's been at basically throughout his career? So, yeah, I could see the Los Angeles Kings taking a step back. Do I think the Canucks could close the gap from being a 90-point team last year to reeling in a team that finished third in the division? Yeah, I mean, LA would have to come back to the pack and the Canucks would have to make up some ground. But, you know, again, through all of the misery and all of the bad news, gloom and doom here, they were a 90-point team last year. And so they were dreadful on home ice. That's the other thing. Last year, you know, won 17 of their 41 home games, and the home fans, the ticket buyers, they deserve better. But I think that's an easy area. I'm not saying that they have to win 25 home games, but get to 21, 22, right there. You've made up 5 wins that could have got you a lot closer to 100 points than just the 90-point team. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's absolutely a world in which the Canucks could catch a team like Los Angeles. But again, I go back to, you know, the 3 pillars. You know what to expect from Quinn Hughes. If he's healthy, he's going to play at an exceptional level. Thatcher Demko, bit of a wild card. And then the conversation turns where, number 40. And what do they get? You know, he's kind of shown some flashes in the preseason, scored a nice one-timer you may have saw the other night in Calgary. That's promising, but, you know, really that's been it for the preseason. So I can't sit here and declare that based on a one-timer in a preseason game against the Flames' third-string goaltender that, you know, Beatty's back. No, they're still playing the waiting game. I think we're all playing the waiting game out here around this Canuck team, and he means so much to them because, look, they just don't have a ton of elite-level offense up front with DeBrusk and Besser. They've been on his wings through camp here, proven veterans and guys that can get you 30, but they're not 50-goal scorers. And so they need Elias Pettersson to be dialed in from day one. And, you know, he's been okay in camp, but a week from now, okay is not going to cut it when you're paying him close to $12 million.
Yeah, he's going to have to be a lot better. There is no question about that. Jeff, as always, great to catch up with you, man. Enjoy the final preseason game. That's a celebration in itself, although you guys only had 6.
That's true.
The Oilers had 8, but this will be the fun time they ever have 8, thank goodness. And then we'll see Vancouver and Edmonton next Saturday in the second game of the season for both teams. And they both open up the season against the Flames. The Oilers on Wednesday, the Canucks on Thursday. So should be fun, and we'll see how things play out. We'll talk to you again soon, my man.
Always great, Gregor. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. That's Jeff Patterson joining us from Rinkside in Vancouver. So the Canucks and the Oilers pretty heavy-laden NHL rosters tonight. Stuart Skinner was scheduled to start, but the Oilers have recalled Matt Tompkins. I'm hearing Skinner maybe battling an illness, might not be going. So you could see Calvin Pickard get the start tonight. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get in the mind and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy! Oh yeah, save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Groceries, mortgage payments, family holidays, a new car. That's what profit shares look like for Vision Credit Union members. Each year, we return about 75% of our profits, $35 million last year, to the people who bank with us. Because at Vision Credit Union, when you're an owner, you get your share. Why not get yours? Learn how at whatsyourshare.ca. That's whatsyourshare.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and you can play, score, and win every game. See more at OnTheRocksYEG.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, as we roll through. Positive Friday, getting set for baseball playoffs tomorrow. A quadruple header again on Saturday and Sunday in MLB. That is, I'm pretty sure it's, or no, maybe, do they have some teams playing not on Sunday, but then on Monday, so they don't have days off, cons? Check that schedule. But, that might be happening. So
Sunday is just Jays, Yankees, Tigers, Mariners.
okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so they'll play Saturday, Monday for some of them, just so they don't want to go a night dry in the playoffs. That makes sense. I totally understand it. So there you go. Now let's go in the mind. Brought to you by Action Electrical. And did you know they are hiring second, third, and fourth year electricians? You've gained some experience. You want to gain more, and you want to work for a fantastic company with lots of opportunity to grow, because they can do one of the fastest growing electrical companies in the province. Go, just send your resume, careers@actionelectrical.net. Good luck. Good luck. Lori Ann Munzer, gold medalist, joins us. Also mental coach. Lori Ann, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Hey, doing awesome. Happy Friday.
Yes. Same to you. We'll get into some other things first, but I want to talk about Magdalene Valadez became the first Canadian in history to win the UCI World Road Race Championship, but she had to pay her own way to get there. So I guess, first of all, explain like how prestigious of a road event, like how big of a victory is this?
Oh, this is historic. Seriously, this is like right parallel beside an Olympic cyclist that I know who won 21 years ago. The road racing happens every year, the World Championships. So everything that you're riding and training and racing for also comes down to the World Championships here. And no other Canadian has ever done this. She's the first. And then similar to like the rugby that we watched last weekend, she had to pay her own way. And I totally understand that, because sometimes the carding isn't there, the funding isn't there, the money's just not there, and you know you've got all the goods to make it happen. So guess what? You take it into your own hands. And unfortunately, that's part of sport in Canada. And holy moly, she did the impossible or the unthinkable, and she won. She broke away. She's been noted to be a really good hill climber in all of the disciplines, like mountain bike, road, also cyclocross. So very disciplined and able to ride in various situations. So for her to do this, this is setting a whole new precedent again. And I'm so excited for her.
So how do you think it changes? What are some ways that they could get more funding?
Oh, I was thinking about that afterwards, and it's just going, like, even though it's 21 years later since I won, she's done it. It's what could we do? And I had come up with a couple of different things. There's always like a national champion endowment fund where, you know, there's different ways, instead of scrambling every year, is building that out. But then again, it really is hard to, because it's like, well, who do you select? And, you know, who's on top, who's showing promise? What about doing something at a grassroots level, like maybe Ride with the Champions grassroots events, where part of the public can come and get to know our athletes, our champions, our up and coming, even some of us who are retired too, right? What about a medal match guarantee where you literally have public and private partnerships where you are coming in to fund and sponsor the athletes? And I also think too, Jason, that at a federation level, regardless if it's just cycling, it's all of the sports across our country, is start teaching athletes to think like business owners. What are some of the fundamentals? Because, you know, you're training so much, you're in school or maybe you're working, but what is the business aspect of it, of giving back to the community? How to make this so, you know, people don't go, well, it's just a hobby. It's something that you're good at and we only see every 4 years. Let's get, you know, an adopt an athlete program going, but also where the athletes are involved. Because I can tell you, an hour, half an hour, once a week, maybe a couple hours every week isn't a lot out of your training schedule. It actually does you a world of good, because it gets you out of being all consuming and in the sport. And that's the only thing you do. You get to learn new skills, or you get to meet new people, you get to network. And as an athlete in this digital day and age, that is part of what you have to do. And that's part of your role as an athlete.
Yeah, no, I think it's fair, right? And totally true. And it is like, congratulations to her. Like, do you think winning something like this, that's got to, I think she's got to use that and be able to attract sponsors from it?
Oh, absolutely. I hope that she, you know, takes a day or two off, sits down and go, how do I want this to unfold now? Because she literally has less than 365 days to really capitalize on it. And I hate to use that word, but you know what? You got to strike when the iron's hot, and it's like the interest is there. She's already going to inspire a generation of young up and coming riders, especially females, maybe even the older ones too, going, hey, you know what? You can always ride a bike, Jason. That's the cool part. But honestly, for her to get the sponsorship, the funding, the support behind her, maybe she has, you know, a few teammates that she'd like to build it around, that's going to be huge. And really the next 4 weeks is going to be instrumental.
Lori-Ann Munzer joins us talking the mental side of sports. And tonight is the final preseason game I look at the Oilers roster, and I think I can get it down to the final decision on who they're gonna have to send down. So there's some guys like called on the bubble, right? There's Stetcher, there's maybe Emberson, there's Lazar, there's Philp, and one of those guys, potentially Regula, could get waived. The mindset of an athlete, the players aren't dumb. They can read the room. You can count the numbers in your head and look at all sorts of things. It's a pressure situation, but you don't play great if you put too much pressure on yourself. What is the best mental approach for a guy like Philp? Because, he's like Curtis Lazar is different. Curtis Lazar has proven he can play in the NHL, right? There's Philp's he wants to get that shot to do it. And then there's some other guys that are trying to hold on to their job or at least stay in Edmonton. How would you think is the best way to approach it? And then conversely, what's going to be the biggest challenge for those bubble guys tonight?
Oh, two loaded questions. I love it. So the best way to approach it, Jason, being in the pressure cooker, because they literally are in the pressure cooker here with last game of the preseason, is let go of the rope. And what that means is, when you play tug of war with a dog and you're just like pulling, the harder you try, the harder the dog pulls. And then when you let go, literally, it's like the dog will follow you around, go, come on, like, let's play, let's go. And as an athlete, when you're thinking so much and so hard about, I got to be on for the shift, I got to make the right move, I got to be able to make sure I catch the puck, that I pass the puck, and that it doesn't go into the wrong hands, is the pressure there is so much, is just, what, you've done the drills, you've got the skills, get the head out of the pressure cooker and look, go in like a newbie with eyes open and just take it all in. Go and enjoy the moment and use your senses, like see things, hear things, smell things. Like the ice is going to smell different tonight, especially when they're getting hot seated and roasted, knowing, okay, I'm either going to make it or I'm not. And to be able to literally let it go and go, I've done all the work. I've done all the mental preparation and training, if they're doing any, which I hope they are, and just let it unfold. They will fly through and bounce and get the moments so much easier than if they're trying really hard and pushing. So then on the flip side, if you're on the bubble, you can't think about the bubble. Don't think about the bubble. Go think about anything else but the bubble. And I don't know what it is. Some athletes, it's music. They are so dialed in with their music. Some have a mantra and they just like playing it 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 times until literally, Jason, they're hydroplaning. Like they walk out and that they're on a different level. And it's just repeating what works. Don't try anything new because that will really screw you up. And just let the rope go, let it go. And let the cards fall. You might need another season, or guess what? Tonight's the night you get picked.
Yeah, well, it's true. Well, they won't even know. That's the thing. They just got to go out and you got to play well, and it'll be interesting to see what they do. The other thing is, Lorianne, is kind of getting yourself ready to start. Like there's, the preseason starts at like a 5, then it slowly cramps up, and players, they all say, hey, I want to be ready when the regular season begins. And it's almost like it's hard to describe, but it's like goes 50%, then maybe like 70, then 80, and not necessarily that you're only trying at 50%, but just the pace of the game, everything else. And tonight, well, it's still not a regular season game because it technically means nothing in the standings. It does ratchet up. But when you look at kind of, when you were, and to me, any competitor does this, you don't go, full out all the time. You just can't. It doesn't make any sense to you, right? Like there is a little bit, not playing safe is probably maybe the wrong way to say it, but I just don't see a lot of hits other than that Tampa, Florida game last night. That was kind of wild. And so who knows, maybe they'll ramp it up, but it's being pretty cautious. I even talked to Trent Frederick about it. He's like, yeah, it's been kind of a quiet preseason, then it'll probably maybe pick up. So mentally, this should actually be an easier game for everybody because it should be a little bit more of what they're accustomed to.
That's an interesting concept. I look at the preseason like races that didn't really count. This is the time to try. If you've been working on something new, try it out. If you're trying different players together, that's the time to do it. The number one thing, Jason, is when the season starts, and I'm talking camp, is you should be ready every day to be able to bring out your best. And I know that I talk with other sportscasters, I talk with other coaches, and they're like, oh, that's not the way it goes. We've got 82 games. Jason, if you don't prepare and go in ready all the time, it is that little ramp up where you can dial it in so that when it gets to Stanley Cup playoff times, you are 100% ready. But you have to practice it. And this is one of the reps. It's doing the laps, doing the reps. And this is the time, number one, that you need to be mentally ready. Get out there. Yeah, the preseason, it doesn't count as much. It's not as costly as a regular game or a Stanley Cup final, but your preparation should be exactly the same that you're going in. I'm going to say gold medal prepped. You might want to say Stanley Cup prepped, so that by the time you get to the games where everybody's on fire, they're flying, they found their groove, you are there as well. Because otherwise, Jason, you're going to get left behind.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Lorianne, thanks so much for this. We appreciate it. Have yourself an awesome weekend.
And you too. Thanks, Jason.
Lorianne Munzer, that's In the Mind, brought to you by Action Electrical. Coming up after 3 o'clock. We will hear from the new coach. Well, I should say the coach with the extension. That's Kris Knoblauch. He'll be joining us. Dave Naylor. We got Craig Button, Mark Spector, Low Tide as well. I'll also hear from Trent Frederick, an interview I had with him one-on-one earlier today. So a busy Positive Friday edition of the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. Use the code Gregor50. You make a $50 deposit. Use the code, and they'll give you another 50. So it's a 2-for-1 deal right now at PlayAlberta.ca, just in time for the start of the regular season. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca. Your next dinner is ready with Loca Quality Markets gourmet meals. Choose from over 200 chef prepared meals. See them all at loca.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
And the Edmonton Oilers signed head coach Kris Knoblauch to a 3-year contract extension. They'll take him through the 2029 season. Comes as he was previously set to enter the season on an expiring contract. In 2 seasons with the Oilers, Knoblauch had a record of 94, 47, and 10 with the 2 Stanley Cup final appearances. The Oilers are in action as they'll wrap up their preseason just after 8 o'clock out in Vancouver. You also have the Sharks and the Golden Knights, Flames, Jets, Wild, Blackhawks, and the Sabres taking on the Penguins. Week 18 in the CFL kicks off tonight with the Rough Riders in Ottawa taking on the Red Blacks. That starts at 5:30. Tomorrow you got Argos, Ticats, and Calgary taking on the BC Lions. WNBA Finals Game 1, Aces, Mercury, 6 o'clock from Sin City. In the WHL, the Oil Kings are in Moose Jaw tonight. That's at 7. Then tomorrow they meet the Wheat Kings just after 5. BCHL, Saints hosting Trail at 7. Crusaders in Vernon. That gets going at 8. And in the AJ, you got 4 games tonight, including the Kodiaks hosting Whitecourt and Calgary and Devon. Both those games start at 7. Golden Bears football on the road this weekend. Tomorrow they'll take on the Saskatchewan Huskies at 7 o'clock. And on Sunday, the Wildcats in Regina, while the Huskies hosting Winnipeg. College football tonight. You've got number 23 BYU hosting West Virginia. Kickoff set for 8:30. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host Wanye Gretz. We'll take a look at the CFL with Dave Naylor from TSN and hear another edition of Campaign's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug in to your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Edmonton sports fans stay informed with Sports 1440. Stream us. Listen to us on the AM dial. However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sandy dealer, backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
Backed by popular demand, Folsom Prison Revisited. The story of one of the greatest concerts in history returns to the Jubilee Auditorium. November 22nd. Step back in time before, during, and after this iconic Johnny Cash performance, featuring Devin Brain from $1 Million Quartet and an all-star band. You'll relive an event that changed the life of Johnny Cash and changed music forever. Tickets at Ticketmaster.ca and at the Jubilee box office. Brought to you by Stars and Stories Live.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at Cantork.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock. Welcome back. Positive Friday. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50. You'll get a free $50 play at PlayAlberta.ca. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. That's where you can text us in our inbox. We do have quite a few texts coming in today. Any of you, lots of different topics. Hey, boys, when do you think the Oilers will announce their roster? Sunday would be my guess on when they would do that. It's no need or reason to have to do it on Saturday. When you add all the numbers up, they've got 3 players that need to be taken off the roster. Then one of those players will likely be recalled after Zach Hyman gets moved to LTIR. Now, good news on Zach Hyman. I watched him today after the main skate because I was writing my GDB at Oilers Nation just in the rink at the community rink. And Hyman came on about they did a flood and everything. And then he came out with skills coach and is just working on a lot of things. Max Jones joined him. Jones obviously isn't playing tonight. And Hyman, backhand, forehand, stick handling, everything. Wrist looks okay. I didn't see him not trying any shots. So that's a good sign. It doesn't mean he's close to playing yet, but he's progressing in the right direction, which is what you want. And here's the thing about the Oilers. So if they put Zach, now, I guess they could send 3 guys to the minors. But if Hyman doesn't go on LTIR, then they would have to make a different move. Because now, the only reason you wouldn't put him on LTIR is if they believe he would be ready before November 1st. Because when you're on LTIR, you have to be out 10 games and 24 days. It's not one or the other. It's both. So if you miss 10 games and you're there for 24 days, then you come off. So when you look at it, he would get placed on LTIR on Tuesday, which is the 7th. Do the math on 24 days. That's November 1st. So now the Oilers have 12 games in October. So if they're putting him on LTIR, then you can say without question he is out for the month of October. So there's benefits to doing it. But if they think he could be back by game 8, well, then do they look and say, well, maybe we're just going to carry, a 22-man healthy body roster? Something to consider. So we'll see where that goes on the front of the Oilers. But looking at their roster, I think I kind of got it down to one final spot. We'll get to all of that in a sec. But first, we're going to get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. Shop over 15,000 vehicles at goauto.ca. And right now they have 28 brand new vehicle brands and 69 locations to choose from. So any vehicle, any type, and a great deal, goauto.ca. And the big news, of course, today in Oilers land, Kris Knoblauch has signed a 3-year contract extension. And, of course, it doesn't kick in this year. It'll kick in the following season. And here's the coach talking about his new deal.
I'm obviously very excited about that. Likelihood or just being part of this team. The last couple of years have been phenomenal. And to be able to work for this organization, I'm very blessed with having talented players, but also players with outstanding character who want to win. And then also the staff and everybody else I worked with has been a completely fabulous experience for me. Overall, I especially like to thank the Cates family for just having first of all, hiring me, having faith in me, but just having a well-run organization to be a part of.
Well, hey, you come into your Kris Knoblauch. The organization should be pretty happy too, because Kris Knoblauch has won 94 of the 151 games that he has coached in the regular season. And when you look at coaches who have quick to 100 wins, Tom Johnson back in Boston, in the 70s, he only took him 138 games to win. So he was like 138. That's not a bad record. Mike Keenan is second. It took him 152 games to win 100. Todd McClellan is third. Him and Terry Chris both needed 158 games. Dean Evison, 159. And then it jumps up to 163. So in order for Knoblauch, if the Oilers go 6-0, he would end up third at 157. If they go 6-1, he would tie McClellan with San Jose and Terry Chris with Calgary. If they go 6-2, then he would tie Dean Evison for third. 6-4, 6-5. He will then come in under, and he will be in sixth place. So that's kind of where it's at, But if they have a really good start, he could see himself in the top 5 quickest coaches in NHL history to 100 career wins, which is not bad. As we welcome in Wanye Gretz to the show.
Now, all due respect to Kris Knoblauch, and congratulations, well deserved. How much of that is getting to coach Leon and Connor, and how much of that is coaching wizardry?
I think you have to have a good team, sure. Mm-hmm. Most of those guys, like Tom Johnson, the Bruins were pretty damn good in the 70s. But I look at Kris Knoblauch. He's had coaches here before that had McDavid and Draisaitl. Did they get to Stanley Cup Finals? No. Did they get out of the first? Woodcroft did win 2 rounds one year for sure, and then got steamrolled, and didn't. Then the next year I thought against Vegas wasn't great, right? So, I'm looking at basically kind of in their prime. I'd have to go back and look at where Jay Woodcroft came up, because not much different, really, when you think about it. There's a few other pieces, but yeah, you need good players to win. But I think Kris Knoblauch, the one thing he's done quite well is he changed some things and implemented a different approach to, I think, more of attention defensively, and it's worked.
I remember growing up as a young Oilers fan, I was obsessed with Ron Lowe when he was the coach during those dark, dark years. And my friends and I, we used to laugh as little kids watching him throw his gun on the bench and go crazy like that. You know who had been a great coach of Leon and Connor just for one season, Gregor? Ron Lowe. The heart of a champion. He'd give anything with those organizations and the teams he had to run in the 90s to have a Connor and a Leon on your roster. What an unimaginable gift.
Well, yeah, why not? So, well, for any coach, yeah, for sure. You have lots of coaches say, hey, you're only as good as your best players, for sure, and there's no doubt about that. But at the same time, there's been coaches, in situations that didn't get the results with a lot of the same teams. And then they change a coach, and all of a sudden the team's way better. So coach has got to get some, I think, credit for it. And Knoblauch was asked, for him, he was entering the final season of his contract. How nice was it to get it done so now he doesn't have to think about it once the season's up?
Oh, absolutely. In the NHL, you never know what's going to happen. Start off slowly, whatever. Just nice to it's out of mind, and now it's done, and now we're just worried about the regular season. But whether it was happening or not, it would have been still worrying about the regular season. But now that I've got that security, it's nice, and I don't have to worry about it. And now I can just spend all my attention to the our next game.
Relative to when he came into the league, Gregor, has he impressed you more? Like, did he exceed your expectations? How does he rank?
Oh, Knoblauch?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy, Knoblauch came, and you got to remember when he took over the team, like they were floundering that. Like there's lots of pressure, and he came in and he was able to just, I think, quiet the noise, right? He brought in a calm demeanor. That was the one thing, Darnell Nurse today even mentioned it again. He goes, man, like in key situations, Knoblauch stays very calm. And I think, think about it for parenting. What do they always tell you? If the kids see you getting rattled, they get rattled. Even if internalized, you're scared and something bad happens, if you just talk calmly to their kids, they have a better reaction. Well, be known, if your coach comes, what the hell's going on, right? Something bad happens, oh my God. But if the coach can just keep an even keel, doesn't guarantee that all the players will. It doesn't guarantee that inside he might not be mad or freaking out. But many of the players have talked about in clutch moments, obviously they've been to lots of them in the playoffs through the last few years, that he's been pretty calm. And I think when he first came in, he wasn't BS guy. Like I do know for a fact that he gained a lot of respect in the room when I remember when he basically benched Evander Kane, probably 7 weeks in to his coaching. And he said, Evander wasn't healthy. So he was trying to protect Evander Kane by saying he was a little nicked up. He's not going to play. And then of course, Evander Kane, I'm healthy. But basically, he's trying to create some, the coach is like, no, Kane didn't want to practice and then claimed that he was healthy enough to play. And the coach said, no, if you can't practice, you don't play. It's that simple. Right. And I think he set a tone there that got the respect of his players to just say, hey, you know what? He's not going to be bullied or intimidated, because make no mistake, there are some big personality players and big name players in the NHL that can try to, manipulate might be too strong of a word, but really influence a coach. And so when a coach says, no, this is how it's going to be, right? Remember when he took McDavid and Draisaitl off? Now, funny enough, they might go back on the penalty kill, but he tried something else. He wanted to get more people involved, but the penalty kill hasn't worked, so maybe they don't have the right guys. That's something that they'll look at. I think you'll see McDavid and Draisaitl as like 5th, 6th, 7th forwards on the penalty kill. They're not going to be in the top 4 guys, but you're going to see them on the penalty kill, especially if all of a sudden there's a game where there's not a lot of power plays for the Oilers and they run into 2 or 3 penalty kills. Guaranteed McDavid and Draisaitl are going to be on there, and coach likes using them on the penalty kill, probably the last 25 seconds.
What more can you ask for from Coach Knoblauch? Like, you're back-to-back cup finals. Is it just maintain at this level? Like, there's no brilliant insight that's going to bring you an extra 2 wins. Like, what do you really ask for him going forward that you haven't already seen?
Well, he'll tell you, like, obviously he wants to win. So when I look at Knoblauch's decisions, I don't see any coaching decision that was clearly one that cost the team, right? Hindsight's a wonderful thing. All of us look smarter. And like, when you look back in your life and being like, geez, if I'd have done that, it would have worked. Yeah, well, great. If I had the wherewithal beforehand, that'd be awesome. So I'm sure he still learned. He learned some things from the last 2 years in losing in the cup final that he'll be able to look upon, whether it's, how you use different guys in different situations, who you use in those situations, when to pull your goalie, when not to pull your goalie, all those different things that I think has gained experience from him. So like, you think about it, you come in and basically your first 2 years in the NHL, you've been in the Stanley Cup final back to back. Like, outside of Scotty Bowman, no one's done it. So it's pretty impressive as a young coach. Yeah. So I like it. Now, Knoblauch also just talk about when he came to the team and what he felt were like the keys to allow them to get the team back on track. Because remember, they were really floundering that November.
I think with any coaching situation, I think the most important thing is just being yourself and not trying to do something that would be out of character. And you might be able to pull it off for a little while, but the players pick up on that, and it's phony. It's not genuine, not sincere, and it won't go very far. Whether any coaching position I've had, whether it's junior in the American League, the NHL, I've tried to treat it as the same. It's just different players, different level, but they're still hockey players, and coaching hockey, still coaching hockey. So, the other one is just trying to, coming in here, we just adjust some things of attention to details on what could move the needle, what could be improved, and I think we responded really well, but it was always a good hockey team. It was always going to correct itself out sooner or later. So I don't want to say that, obviously things changed quite quickly, but I don't think it was just myself coming in that had that much of an impact.
Now, there are some guys on the bubble. If I do my lineup and I look at the final roster, I think the Oilers have to send 3 players down. Tomasic's going to be one of them because he doesn't require waivers and he has no bonuses in his contract. So you can send him down. The next day when you put Zach Hyman on LTIR, you can recall. Now, if they decide that Zach Hyman's not going to need to be out that long, he's only going to be on IR, well, that changes. Because I guarantee you 100% David Tomasic will be in the opening night lineup next Wednesday. 100% book it. Want to know why I know this? Because he's going to be on the number 1 power play unit. So trust me. He's in the lineup. He will be in the number 1 power play unit. He'll be the net front presence at times, but he's going to give them different looks. He's a really good playmaker. They haven't had a playmaker like that in front of the net. This guy can really move the puck, and he can really shoot the puck as a right shot. Something they've never really had as a forward. Obviously, Bouchard can bomb it, but they've never had a right shot forward who can really rip it. And that's going to give them some different looks. I know a lot of teams are expecting the Draisaitl one-timer on that right side. Trust me, they're going to have some setups and looks there to see Tomasic on the left side. So I know he'll be there. If Hyman goes on LTR, which I still think is a good possibility, he's the guy to go down. You can recall him the next day. He doesn't have to leave Edmonton. He doesn't have to play a game in the minors. Don't worry about that. So that's one guy. Max Jones is another guy I think's going down. He hasn't played a preseason game. He's nicked up. The coach believes firmly that he'll be cleared and ready to go to Bakersfield when they have to set the roster on Monday. So that's 2. So then that leaves 1 spot. I have Philp, Lazar, Regula, Stetcher. One of them has to go down. So let's hear about 3 of them. Here's the head coach's thoughts on Alec Regula and how he's played thus far.
Alec Regula has been played really well. Obviously, we had a lot of faith in him to claim him off waivers, thought he could be a part of our future. And when he got here, found out his health status wasn't what we thought. It took a lot longer for his rehab. But a lot of credit for him because he stuck with it and never got away from it. That can be tedious work. And, for him not to play as long as he did, it can often deflate a guy and, hard to pick up. But he put in the time. He's feeling healthy, and this training camp he's played really, really well. I think he's obviously he's a big body. He uses his body, but he's not over physical where he's running out of position to finish checks. But when I say using his body, mostly using it on like puck possession, being able to hold pucks a little bit longer, and he's made numerous beautiful passes, getting pucks into the forwards' hands and allowing them to carry the puck out rather than just dump and chase. And, you look at our forwards that we have, it's nice to have defensemen that move the puck well. Last year training camp, we traded for Wallman because he had those attributes that we wanted, not a chip and chase kind of defenseman, and being able to make a pass, get into our forwards' hands and play that style of game. And Alec is very strong at that.
He can really move the puck for a big man. There's no question about it. He doesn't now, unless there's an illness, the plan isn't for him to play tonight. He's already played 5 preseason games. Stetcher and Emerson have only played 4. I think that's part of it. I think there's some final evaluations here going on For me, I'd be very surprised. Not shocked, but surprised if Regula is the guy who ends up on waivers. That big right shot who can move the puck. He's 6'4", he's 210, close to 220 actually. So I'd be surprised at this point if he's one of the guys. So that leaves a few others. What about Curtis Lazar? Here's Knoblauch on Lazar.
Curtis is very dependable. We got him here as a fourth line centerman who can also play either wing and kill penalties. And whether he's our 13th or 11th, 12th forward, that's kind of where we see him fitting in to start the season.
So kind of, hey, 11, 12, 13th, that's where we see him. So does that mean he's on the roster? Maybe that's just a little bit of trigger, I know, but he's reliable. When a coach uses the R word, that's big praise. Coaches love players that are predictable and you know what they're going to. Now, their best on what you get might not be super shiny. It might not be super fast, but not going to have a lot of mistakes, going to win some faceoffs for us and can kill a penalty. And that's very important. And lastly, another guy on the bubble, Noah Philp. And coach asked about Philp, who is going to play tonight on a line with Adam Henrique and Matt Savoy.
Philp has been, 2 years in a row. I think he's come to camp and had strong performances. I think our team wants to get faster and a little more stronger and physical and also younger. He fits that. He's not, a new, just coming out of junior hockey, that youth, but, he is new to the NHL, so we still see promise in him getting better. But I think he's played really well and put in strong performances every time he's been on the ice.
He has. Now, if you look at Philp and faster, a little bit younger, physical, checks all the boxes. Then you dig deeper and you look and say, okay, what are the boxes that they need checked as a fourth line center? Face-offs. Well, guess what? Up until the last game, he was under 50%. Now he's at 54%. So that's good. In 4 games, 54%. Check mark. Pretty good. Now, I'd have to look at defensive zone face-offs on that because that would be a key one. Like if a lot of them are neutral zone, no offense, they don't count as much as offense and defense. They just don't. Then you get into the penalty kill. And if he's going to be a fourth line center, they're going to want him to be good in the penalty kill. He wasn't listed on the top 4 penalty killers, I don't think. So now, do I think he'll be one of the 5th or 6th ones tonight? Yes. But I think he's kind of being okay on the penalty kill. Not where you want as far as the reads and what they're looking for from their penalty kill. Because make no mistake, they know it's an area of weakness the past few seasons that they want to impress. Outside of the miracle run in 2024, their penalty kill has been meh. As the kids like to say, it's been capped. Okay, so that's where their penalty kill has been. I can't believe I just said that. If my son was listening, he'd love it. But people are like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Trust me, I don't try to be a kid, but it's funny. He says it all the time, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" But so there. That's when you watch the game tonight, and the game is on TV. Order fans on Sportsnet if you want to watch it. Watch Philp. Watch him on faceoffs. And if he's beating up on Brendan Coates, no offense to Coots, he's a young 18-year-old. That's not the guy. You want him. I want to get him out against the other 3 center icemen. Bluger, Hedel, Elias Pettersson, because they're NHL centers. You want to see how he does there defensively, but in the faceoff. And then if he gets on the penalty kill, see how he does. Because honestly, that's going to be the make or break for him to be on the team.
Do you think relative to this time last year, the Oilers are a better team or a worse team?
Well, I think they're better. Jake Wallman wasn't it right away. Jake Wallman, he's a top 4 defenseman who wasn't here last year. So they're like, I look at their defense core, they're better. So then I look up front and I see I'm like, okay, so Corey Perry, Connor Brown, Jeff Skinner, Victor Arvidsson. Those 4 are gone.
Kane
didn't play all year. I'm talking regular season, right?
Sure.
This start last year, right?
Yeah.
Kane didn't play.
Yeah.
So
fair.
Trent Frederick's in, Mangiapane's in, Savoy's in, Howard's in. Right now, Kapanen wasn't here at the start of the year, but he joined early enough, and he's here, so I'm not going to include him. So when I say Perry, Brown, Arvidsson, Skinner, Frederick, Mangiapane, Savoy, and Howard, what's the real big difference here? Are those 4 forwards drastic? Now, they're less experienced for sure, but collectively they're younger. Collectively they're faster. Frederick's infinitely more physical than any of them, right? Because he can get there. Corey Perry's a gamer, no question about it. But you couldn't really play him in your top 6 5-on-5 because of his foot speed. The coach didn't like to do it. So Jeff Skinner wasn't a player that they thought was a top 6 guy. So when I look at the new players, I don't see how they're any worse off. Not necessarily clearly better, different, but I don't see it worse. But I do see the defense from the start of the year this year to the start of the year last year, the defense scores better just because of Jake Wallman. So that's how I see it. I think there's more upside because of the young guys, but I don't think that the 4 guys that left are heads and shoulders way better than the 4. Like Frederick and Mangiapane are proven NHLers. So then it's just, you got Howard and Savoy. Well, I guess I'm not. What about David Tomasic? Like I probably got to include him too. So I would put him in the equation. That guy's going to be on your first unit power play. He's really skilled. It's a right shot that they didn't have who can score.
How much has the average age of the Oilers come down?
Yeah, I don't know. We got to take a break, but the average age, because a guy like Derek Ryan who didn't play, but he was on the roster, so that made them way older. Like, I don't know, were they really that old? It's come down a bit, but probably not as much as you think, just because it's such a small group of players. So I guess I'd have to go do the math on it, but I'm going to say, like, I know last year, Oilers' oldest team, but then you look, they're like 31.3, and there's like 8 teams at 31.2. Like, what the hell are we talking about here? Like, it's not that much of a difference, right? I think people hear oldest team in the league, but they don't realize it's like 31.3, and you got half the league who's 30.5 and older. Like, is that was 8 months that much of a difference? I don't think so. Quick break. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience, but it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-471-7380 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
Buy more, save more, give more at The Brick. This week at The Brick, save up to 30% off furniture and up to 15% off major appliances. Your stellar night's sleep starts with select mattresses up to 40% off, or score a made-in-Canada mattress from just $159. Find store-wide savings on upholstery, major appliances, and big screen TVs, with a portion of proceeds donated to the stall. Buy more, save more, give more at The Brick. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3.29, Positive Friday. Welcome back, Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where it is Friday, and you know what that means? Lotto Max. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight, 10 mil up for grabs in Lotto Max. PlayAlberta.ca. It's time to get to our football report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC or your furnace. It's that time of year you don't know which one you want to upgrade. Either one, it's good. And maybe just get a service on. That'll extend the life of your furnace. LegacyHeating.ca, talking all things football, both NFL and CFL with Dave Naylor from TSN Football Insider. Davey, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. How you doing?
Cool.
Good to have you. Good to be back on. Yeah.
You betcha. Always great to talk to you. Elks and Bombers both have a bye week, which is, hey, schedule maker. That's unreal. They get to rest up, and then it's pretty much a must-win game for the Elks. And really for Winnipeg, you beat Edmonton, and you pretty much, I don't know if it'd be, I'd have to look if that would officially clinch a playoff spot for them. I think it would, actually. So it's a big game for both teams to get in, because that would pretty much secure them the crossover, because Toronto can only get 8 wins, so then they wouldn't be able to catch them. So yeah, it's a huge game for both teams. It's a week away, but looking at this weekend, you heard Adams come out and say, man, I don't have any confidence right now for the Calgary Stampeders. That's not a great thing for your starting quarterback late in the season.
No, but he's playing like that as well right now. And I think, for those of us who really love watching Vernon Adams play and just how talented he is and what he can do, as we saw in the first half of the season, it's been a struggle the last little while. I mean, he has not thrown for over 250 yards in 3 games. He's 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. And the glaring number for me, especially in today's CFL, his completion percentage is about 58%. Now, you look at the way completion percentages have trended up in the CFL, and, he's not hitting the deep ball the way he was. You can get away maybe with 58% if you're hitting huge chunk plays all over the field, but he's not. And the underneath throws aren't happening. We know he has a back injury that he's been battling as well. So it's been a tough run for him. And defensively, I mean, since Calgary, since Flo Arimolade went out of the lineup on, I believe, September the 6th, I mean, this is a team that pretty much, from the start of the season until Labor Day, had given up the fewest points in the Canadian Football League, like consistently all season. If you look at the weekly stat reports, Calgary is number 1 in that category pretty much all year. Since Arimolade went out, in the 3 games, including the one that he went out, they've averaged giving up more than 40 points a game. So, I mean, it's been a dramatic shift in Calgary, and we've seen some teams that are kind of charging the other way at the end of the season, and Winnipeg is the one that amazes me. I just thought this team was done this year. I just thought they were too old and too tired, and I just kept waiting for them to sort of. I described them to somebody. I said they're like a boxer who's kind of wobbling. You're just waiting for somebody to deliver the knockout punch, and now all of a sudden, I mean, I just thought. I was amazed what they looked like last week against Hamilton. I mean, they just looked rejuvenated and fresh and fast. I hadn't seen the Bombers look like that all season.
Yeah, well, hey, Caleros looked fantastic. There's people thought maybe his career might be over, but he came back in and he looked, as you said, rejuvenated for sure. So, and like BC Lions, man, they're a team that I think is still coming on at the right time of the season. Ottawa's really going nowhere. I guess there's no, I don't think there's a chance that they can catch them.
They have a mathematical hope if they win their 4 and Montreal loses their 4.
Oh, okay.
So I think even Ottawa's general manager doesn't believe that's going to happen because he traded away Lorenzo Malden. So there you go.
Yeah. What did you make of that trade, actually, now that you bring it up?
Well, I think basically getting a 4th round pick for a player at this stage of the season, I think is pretty good value. If you look at what players have been traded for in draft picks, over the last couple of years in the CFL, I think that's very decent value. And look, Lorenzo Malden's on a 1-year contract. He's 33 years old. That defensive line overall has been, I would say, a disappointment. I mean, they've kept that group together. The Cleon Lang, Wakefield, Malden. That there's been a group of 4 defensive linemen. That's a position that turns over a lot in the CFL, but they've kept that group together for at least 3 seasons. And, when you do that, it's because you think you're getting lots of production out of them. And they just haven't this year in Ottawa. Now, Malden is one of those guys. He's a big body. He's a big, strong guy. He's somebody who will, attract a lot of double teams and can open things up for other players on your defensive line as well. But I think if he was going to be back in Ottawa next year, it would have been at a reduced salary. I think he has only 2 sacks this season. And often I think, when teams look at a guy who's going to have to be playing for a lot less, next year, they figure it's always better to go and do that somewhere else. Guys aren't generally, that accepting to playing for a lot less in the same place where they were making more. And at 33, I don't know whether Lorenzo Malden is going to continue playing football beyond this year. I know that him a little bit. I did a feature on him a couple of years ago for TSN and got to know him and his family. Amazing backstory. I mean, just fascinating. But he's been leaning into an acting career in the off season the last couple of years, doing acting lessons and kind of trying to plan that. So that's his direction. I'll just give you the quick summary on his story. I mean, both his parents were incarcerated when he was a child. I believe his father for manslaughter and his mother for selling cocaine. He was Sacramento, California, sent to Atlanta to live with family, and eventually ended up just group home, foster home, group home, foster home. And, all of a sudden an angry young man took his anger to the football field. And I mean, the stories were amazing because when he was getting recruited, he didn't have parents to do the trip. Like somebody in the group home had a friend whose son had played Ohio State, and that guy did the recruiting trips with them. It's the last thing I'll just tell is that when we were there, we interviewed the woman who was a member of the board of the group home, one of the group homes where he lived. And, she told us off camera, she said, I would love to tell you that my years in the group homes, I have lots of stories like Lorenzo.
Yeah.
She said, I don't. No. He's a miracle. Yeah. That was what she said. And it's somebody who I hope people in Alberta get to know because he's a fascinating guy and still a heck of a football player, can really bring the pressure on the defensive line. And, Calgary needs that. They need to be getting to opposing quarterbacks, especially their next two quarterbacks are Nathan Rourke and Bo Levi Mitchell on the schedule here.
Dave Naylor joins. Fantastic stuff, Dave. And I remember, reading that article of yours and seeing the feature, and I was just like blown away, like perseverance and obviously he learned some internal grit. Like you have two ways to go, and lots of people, they just don't know how to pull themselves out of that deep of a hole and without much support. And, he was able to do it. And that's why, if he chooses to go in acting, he'll probably have a decent career in it because he doesn't like what he's seen in his life probably pales in comparison to someone saying, no, you didn't get the job. Right. Like
it's amazing. I mean, I knew the backstory, and you hear about a kid who's grown up that way, and you maybe sort of form a bit of an impression in your mind about, what he's going to be like. And I met him at the award show, or that was the year he was Defensive Player of the Year. And he was not anything like I imagined he was going to be, just, knowing how hard his upbringing had been. And he's really a remarkable guy.
Now let's switch to the NFL and south of the border. Some huge news in Baltimore. Lamar Jackson's out with a hamstring injury, and the Ravens, it's mind blowing. They are dead last in the NFL on rushing on first and second down, despite having the second highest yards per carry. Why aren't they running the ball on first and second down? I don't understand it.
It's bizarre. Look, and I was in Baltimore this summer. David Sanchez and I were down there for training camp, and we looked at that roster and just the feeling around there, and we both agree that this is the best team in the NFL on paper. Certainly, I think my Super Bowl pick was Baltimore and Detroit. I picked Baltimore to beat the Bills on opening night. I mean, I really thought this was a team that had a lot going for it. I mean, they got half their defense are first round picks. Yeah. And that's the other part. The defense is getting lit up here, and they've had some injuries. And this is, I can't imagine, I'm just, because I cover the Bills, as you know, I cannot imagine what the tone and the mood would be in Buffalo if the Bills were 1-3 off of these expectations. So trying to imagine Baltimore at 1-3, and now with Lamar Jackson out. Now, the one thing about it for them, again, I can't make sense of those rushing stats other than, sometimes when you're trailing in games, that's what happens. Game scripts dictate play calling a lot of times. And if you're trailing in games and they've lost 3 games, you're going to get away from the run a little bit. But that's one of the things that makes Baltimore unique and difficult is they're a matchup nightmare because they've got such heavy personnel on offense, especially for teams that are, tend towards light boxes. And in today's NFL, there's a lot of those. They really can be a matchup challenge. But one thing for them, I guess, is that the AFC just seems such a wasteland. I mean, there just seem to be so many mediocre or poor teams in the AFC, and you look at a team even that you would have considered in the playoff hunt that now looks like they're going the wrong direction in Cincinnati, so you take them out of the mix, and you start saying, well, is Pittsburgh going to win that division? I mean, nobody believes in Cleveland, even though they have a good defense. It's just, I guess if there's a year where you got to battle back from 1-3 or 2-4, try to get into the AFC playoffs, this may be the one, because there's a lot of soft schedules in the AFC right now.
Yeah, I look at, there are a few teams. It's early, but no, we say it's early, but you're almost getting up to the, the third part of getting almost to a third of the season, almost. And, you dig a hole in the NFL, it can be a little bit harder to get up out of than some of the other leagues, for sure. So,
yeah.
And
I was just going to say, statistically, 0-3 teams in the NFL, I think there's 3 of them that have made the playoffs or would have made the playoffs because they've added a 7th playoff team in each conference. But if you apply that format, I think there's 3 teams since 2002 that would have made the playoffs. So 0-3, it can be over early in the NFL.
Well,
to your point.
The Baltimore Ravens could be 1-4, and that's almost good night, Irene, for them. So especially, you got the Steelers. I want to get your thought. Well, the Bengals are done. I know the Bengals are 2-2, but my God, they might be the worst 2-2 team ever because without Joe Burrow, they're an absolute train wreck. What do you think the Bengals are going to do? Because I think it shows how many holes they have when you take away their elite quarterback.
Look, I think there's probably a coaching change coming here, right? Because it's a team that went to the Super Bowl and was considered to be sort of in that window where Buffalo and Baltimore are, where you kind of can pencil in the playoffs every year. It's funny. I was at Cincinnati's camp last summer, and I said something like, I was talking to some of their staff, and I said, in Buffalo, people look at the 2 rivalries being Kansas City and Cincinnati, and the guy kind of looked down and thumbed his nose at me, kind of like, yeah, nobody in Cincinnati considers Buffalo a rival. Like they were kind of looking down on the Bills a little bit, and this is just, a conversation with a staff member, but it's just interesting how that's where Cincinnati saw themselves, right? And so, look, if Zach Taylor gets fired this year, I'm going to give you a logical clue about who could go in there, okay? The Bills offensive coordinator, who took over this offense a season and a half ago, when they fired Ken Dorsey mid-season, is Joe Brady. Joe Brady interviewed, I believe, either interviewed or maybe pulled out of interviews for head coach a year ago. And you can understand why. With Buffalo, with that staff, with Josh Allen in his prime, you're kind of like Ben Johnson in Detroit. You're not just going to jump at the first time somebody offers you a head coaching opportunity or offers an interview and a head coaching opportunity. Joe Brady decided to stay in Buffalo this year. But given what the Bills are and the way this season is going already, that Joe Brady is going to be back in that interview cycle next offseason. Who was he the offensive coordinator for? Joe Burrow at LSU in his senior season. Yeah. Who else was on that team? Jamar Chase. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you can reunite Jamar Chase and Joe Brady with the offensive coordinator that made them one of the most explosive offenses in the history of college football. I don't think that's a big leap to think that if you and I are booking this interview for October 3rd next year, that Joe Brady will be the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Ooh, all right. We heard it here first, Dave. I like it. A few other, what did you make of last night and the Rams, the 49ers, who are now 4-1, very good, very well-coached team. I don't think there's any debate on that. And you look at their young quarterback without Purdy, looked pretty damn good yesterday.
He absolutely did. One of the things that's different for me about the NFL than the CFL is particularly the first 6 weeks of the CFL season. I see every single game. I see every single snap. So you're asking me about a team in week 5 or 6. I've watched every snap they play. And I keep that up through most of the season. In the NFL, of course, it's impossible. So you have a team that comes up in week 5, like the San Francisco 49ers last night, who I had not seen, this year, like for any great length of time. And again, a lot of NFL Sundays, I'm, traveling or at a stadium all day. So it restricts some of the things I see that way as well. But so I had not seen the Niners yet this year. And, look, I think it's interesting. All these first round pick quarterbacks that crash and burn and then move on and find traction, right? Yeah. Like, Geno Smith did it. Sam Darnold did it. Baker Mayfield did it. And all of a sudden last night, Mac Jones is doing it. And I'll tell you this, every good start that Mac Jones has is bad news for Curtis Rourke, because Curtis Rourke is on a medical redshirt year coming off the ACL. For people who may not remember who Curtis Rourke is, he's the younger brother of Nathan Rourke. Started at the University of Indiana last year, played on a torn ACL, fell in the draft because of the injury, but he was a 7th-round pick, and the Niners were, crowing about how they got a guy who wasn't really a 7th-round pick. But he's probably going to have to battle Mac Jones for that backup job next season. So every time Mac Jones makes a quality start, that's going to make it that much harder. Experience is such valued by NFL teams in their backup role. So that's something to consider for looking to next year. But no, Mac Jones was, and what it tells me is that, we've got this idea that, college players are more experienced and better coached and offenses have changed and they're more like the pros. So guys should be week 1 starters, right? And you just look at what Green Bay did 2 quarterbacks in a row, right? They did it with Aaron Rodgers. Yep. They've done it with Jordan Love. And they're 2 for 2. Mm-hmm. Now, you might say those guys would have made it anyway, but it's just one of those things that, I remember from the days when I was covering, hockey, and when a 17, 18-year-old would get draft picked high, and the coach said to me one time, you never ruin them by making them wait, And I think it's the same with quarterbacks. You never ruin them by making them wait, but you can ruin them. And it just makes me look at, now we've got I mentioned 4, 5, 6 examples in the NFL right now of guys who with seasoning, with time, were, not far off what they were projected to be. In Baker Mayfield's case, he's maybe exceeded what he was projected to be, and he was a 1st overall pick. But all those teams rush these guys onto the field and, never get the benefit. And of course, then with it, their franchise takes a huge step back as well.
Yeah, very true. Dave, as always, man, great stuff. I really appreciate it. Have an awesome weekend watching 3 and 4 down football. Appreciate your time.
I will indeed. Yeah, always love joining you. Thanks, Dave.
It's Dave Naylor from TSN. And interesting about the Bengals. And Josh Fenwick is feverishly writing that down. He's probably going to start tweeting about it very soon. We'll come back. We got the 2-minute warning. Craig Button, Spec, LT, Wanye, and more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the feel free to get involved. You can text us 833-401-1440 in our inbox, your partner in power since 1975 for all your electrical needs. EWEL.ca.
Mr. Rooter meets a ghost.
1 plunge, 2, and 3. A toilet clogged with a ghost? Man, I love plumbing. You're free now.
I will never find peace. The clog is fixed, yes, but I have never trusted the sump pump.
No problemo. I can fix that. Now go to the light, you little scamp.
Thank you, Mr. Rooter. To resolve your unfinished plumbing business, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Yeah, can I get yes. A common reaction from a veggie lover. Always scanning, searching, longing. But wait, what is this we see? The new McVeggie. Now at McDonald's.
If you've got a smart speaker, get it to play Sports 1440.
And it doesn't matter when you listen as we roll out the Sports Talk
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Edmonton's home for sports radio is Sports 1440.
Want some good news? St. Albert Dodge is holding the biggest sale of the year on their in-stock Ram 1500 Sports. Every single one on the lot is discounted by a whopping $14,000. Yeah, 14 grand. And St. Albert Dodge has the best selection in Alberta. Over 90 Ram 1500 Sports to choose from with great packages, including the Night Edition and GT models, all $14,000 off the ticket price. Get down there and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
While the players gear up for the new season, make sure you gear up your snack game with Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Okay, this jumbo bag of beef jerky should last the preseason.
Whoa. Will Hawk has more than just beef jerky. There's smoked sausage and pepperoni products, too.
Well, how about we have jerky for Eastern opponents and pepperoni sticks when we face the Western teams?
Now that sounds like a Will Hockey game plan.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky, because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal. Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
They sure saw you coming. You went in for about $200 in auto service, and by the time Johnny Slick out front was done telling you everything he thought you should have replaced, you got hosed for $3,000. Big Toy Shop won't lie to you, inflate your bill, or waste your time. You'll know exactly what your service actually costs and when it's going to be done. Take your ride to Big Toy Shop, 8315 Argyle Road, 780-298-2797.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Enjoy a taste of Hawaii with Papa John's Aloha Trio. Try the classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken pizzas for only $19.99 each at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Friday. Woohoo! Work week is almost over. We got baseball playoffs tomorrow, 4 games. Then, of course, 2 games on Sunday. There'll be 2 more on Monday. And then away they go all day. You could have 4 on a few other days of the week. It's fantastic. The Jays and the Yankees will go Saturday and Sunday, both afternoon games in Toronto. And I know there's some people, oh my God, Toronto's not allowing American people to buy tickets, and New York's not allowing Toronto people to buy tickets. This is not new. Like, are people just like climbing out from under a rock? This is not the first time teams have limited and said, hey, you can only buy tickets if you have like in the US, certain states and stuff like that. Like, it's not the first time. And guess what? You're the home team and you want to do that. Why not? You want to have home field advantage for a reason. I don't have a problem with it.
How are the attendances in the MLB in the playoffs? Is everybody selling out? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you can talk tough.
Yeah. No, why wouldn't you do it? Yes. So I have no issue with it, man. And if it adds a little fuel to a rivalry, sign me up. We need more fun rivalries than less, in my opinion. That's just my thoughts. So, and like they're close in proximity. Like, you look at the Cubbies in Milwaukee. Like, look how close those 2 teams are. Like, it's a bus trip, like an hour, right? Because we were in Chicago and then we bussed to Green Bay for Monday Night Football. Now it's about a 2.5-hour bus ride, I think. And we passed Milwaukee on the way to Green Bay. You're just like, oh my God, this is right here. So I'm sure there's probably a lot of fans, good rivalry right there. Probably going to have a fair amount of Cubbies fans come in because you know what? You're right there. So it'd be a little bit difficult to limit them, but I'm sure they'll try.
I went to a Red Sox game once in Boston. And there was a guy over my shoulder that kept standing up in like the most Boston stereotypical accent, kept yelling like
his R's.
And I kept looking up at him like super excited to see him. And finally he was like, why do you keep looking over at me like that? And I'm like, I'm from Canada. You just seem like the most Boston person I've ever seen in my life. And he's like, oh, ha, ha, ha. And then he was even more dramatic as the game went on. But there's you have to expect if you're going to go play the Red Sox in the playoffs or the Yankees, you're going to be in a hostile environment. Like, New York Yankees fans didn't just come up like this. They were talking about them being crazy in Seinfeld 30 years ago.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, every fan base has some lunatics on their fan base, some really passionate fans, right? Some go overboard, but Most are just like they're there, they cheer, they have a good time, they paint their face maybe at a certain time of the year, and away you go. Now, there's some fans who go, to the nth degree of their fandom. Now, I've said this many times. I've never understood the fans who fight opposing, walk down the street after a game, sucker punching guys because they're wearing the opposing jersey. Like, you are a class A loser to do that. Like, class A loser. Anywho, I don't know if this will be a loser edition. I think it might be a winning one. Usually it is on Friday. Let's get to the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Guess what? The reason they have Build a Legacy, no overtime charges. Late at night, on the weekend, you need something serviced instantly, they'll do it. No OT. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Now, Cam Tate, of course, longtime journalist in town. Cam was born with cerebral palsy. He's in a wheelchair. Disability didn't allow him to be live on radio until now. Through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning. And on Friday, Tater has ran over my toe a few times with his wheelchair, forcing me to have to read it on Friday. So, Cons, cue up the music. Here's Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. Dear Jason, I must confide. This may very well be my last 2-minute warning. What? Yes. Let the bell tolls, let the pigeons scatter, let the typewriters, if anyone still has one, jam on the exclamation point, because I shall not be here next week. I will be gone, absent, vanished, like an Oilers power play in March or a Blue Jays bullpen lead in October, or the Elks playoff hopes by Labor Day. Ouch. And why, you ask? Because, Jason, I'm putting the Cam into campaign. Today, mark it down, carve it into the stone tablets, or at least scratch it into the corner of your coffee cup. I am formally announcing my candidacy for the mayoralty of Edmonton. How does that seize your fancy, Connor Halley? Think about it. Don't wait. Vote Tate. Rolls off the tongue like a Zamboni over fresh ice. Now, my platform, council chambers, moved to Rogers Place. If we're going to debate snow removal, zoning bylaws, and potholes deep enough to be mistaken for fishing holes, we might as well do it where McDavid debates physics nightly. When the Oilers are away, council in the dressing room, whiteboards for bad ideas, Gatorade for thirsty egos, penalty box for unruly counselors. When the Oilers are home, we meet in the stands, pausing only when Leon uncorks a one-timer. And should the Oilers, God willing, string together 5 consecutive victories, the city shall celebrate a civic holiday. Not statutory, but statuary, bronze, likeness of unsung heroes at every intersection. But it will not be merely hockey. Oh no, Commonwealth Stadium shall become Edmonton's town hall. If you wish to speak, you must first return a punt without fumbling. Remax Field will host committee meetings. Your motion only passes if it clears the left field fence. Golf courses, perfect for a public hearing. Par 3 if you're concise. Par 5 if you drone like a broken street sweeper. And community rinks, they'll double as service centers, building permits between periods, property taxes handled by the scorekeeper, and zoning appeals called down by the referees. God, that'd probably be even faster than what they do now. Even DATS buses will serve as a campaign shuttles, provided you can get a seat. So, Jason, I will not be here next week, not out of dereliction, but out of civic duty. Fortune smiles. This microphone may be traded for the mayor's chain of office. Which reminds me, I must leave you now for City Hall before 5 o'clock to file my nomination papers and hope dearly that they take Visa. 2-minute warning, Cam Tate. His DATS line was pretty funny. Even DATS buses will serve as campaign shuttles, provided you can get a seat. Well, Tater would let anyone sit on his lap, I'll tell you that. He would like it very much so. So don't wait, vote for Tate. That would actually work. Be very simple. Right? One of the best lines you've had, Tater. Best lines you've had. I know the campaigns are up and running. We see the signs all over the place. Good luck to all those who are performing their or are going to try to perform their civic duty. Good luck. Not an easy task. Not for the faint of heart, I would think, to want to run for city council. Run for the party. Federally, provincially, same thing. Be a little bit different. You got to have some thick skin. Sadly, nowadays, for some parties, they believe in just, let's just make up stories and lie, and then everybody's going to believe it because I'm a righty or I'm a lefty. God, it's the worst. I just want to say this quickly. Anybody who feels their own personality and identity is tied into where you vote, you've lost complete sense of reality. Just because you vote or lean right doesn't mean you have to blindly follow it all the time. Because you vote or lean left doesn't mean you have to blindly follow it all the time. We need some party in the middle, especially in our province. That would be wonderful. Just a little right center. Progressive conservative party, kind of how we used to have. That would be nice. Just my thoughts. So anyway, anybody who feels their identity's tied up in their political leaning, I'm like, oh my God, you got problems. It's just my thoughts on it. Would you ever run for council, Wanye?
I would not, but I am listening to somebody talk that I think should one day.
Dude, I think I have the patience to do it. Number one. And it seems like, I don't know, there's just too many people that the truth seems to be bordering on the enemy now. It's like, if you can say whatever to get people to believe right or left, and that's what we're going to do, God forbid the truth. And it's just annoying.
Which level of politics do you think you can run for to have the biggest impact?
Oh, geez. Well, I guess it depends. I don't know. Like, I'd like to talk to an MLA in a riding, and how much impact or influence do they get to do? They have to automatically just because you're part of one party, does that mean you have to agree on everything the party does? Like, I don't think you have to. I don't think we have any discussions anymore. Like, does every MLA who's a conservative automatically agree with everyone on the other side of the country on every matter? I can't see how we do. So why do we all, well, no, God, we all got to just stand in line and agree on everything because that's our political party. Like, I don't know, that kind of bothers me. I just don't think that works. I think we have way less discussions now, and that's the problem.
I'd be interested to ask politicians what's best. If you want to represent Edmontonians, are you better to run for city council? Are you ready to run provincially or federally? Where can you have the most impact?
Yeah, well, it'd be a great question. I have no idea. I've never, there's certain things. If you felt like you could make it, and I get why people run is because they feel like they're going to make a difference. So awesome. And I think some do for sure. I think though, if you get into politics solely for your own personal gain or your own personal view, that's where it becomes a problem. Because I think sometimes people they're there to serve. Now, trust me, you can't appease everyone. It's impossible, right? It's impossible. Some people are going to, because guess what? When I'm 21, I have different viewpoints and different things that matter to me than when I'm 51 or probably when I'm 71. It's just how it is. So, you're always going to change and evolve. And that's why I've never been one who's a staunch believer in one party ever, because not one party always represents where I'm at a certain time in my life. And I'd like the ones that, if you lead with a little bit of truth, that would be great. That's I didn't always agree with everything Ralph Klein did. Lots of stuff I staunchly disagreed with, but at least Klein was honest. He would say he was going to do something, and if he did, it was garbage. He still did it. I'm like, okay, well, he told us what he's going to do, so he did it. All right, didn't always agree with it, but I prefer that than, people just, they say one thing, campaign on it, and then they never do it, or they campaign on lies, or just now they want to live on lies. So we'll get back to sports, but that's my beef of the day. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back. Speck's going to join us a little earlier today. It's got real important news, and also we'll go through. I think we've got it down to who's involved for the final cut. At least that's what I think. So I'll go through the theory, and then it'll say, which player do you think is going to be the one who, and one of them is going to be on waivers. So who do you think it's going to be? I think we'd all agree Max Jones is one. That one's kind of easy for anybody out there. They're watching. Jones hasn't even played, so that one's pretty easy. They got 3 cuts to make. David Tomasic, because he doesn't require waivers, doesn't have any bonuses, and can be recalled the next day if they put Hyman on LTIR. He makes a lot of sense. Because trust me, he's on the opening day roster. Not even a question, because me on their number 1 power play dude. He's going to be the guy taking Hyman's spot. However, it won't always be standing in front of the net. They're going to have some different looks for him because of his passing ability and his shooting ability. So then there's one other one. Who's that going to be? We'll get your thoughts, specs, and more after Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. You need tires, but your wallet isn't ready? Well, at Fountain Tire, they got you covered. 0% financing for 6 months or easy equal payments over a year, both with 0 interest. See more, fountaintire.com.
This the Sports 1440 update.
The Edmonton Oilers have signed head coach Kris Knoblauch to a contract extension through the 2029 season. The 3-year deal comes as Knoblauch was previously sent to enter the season on an expiring deal. Oilers in action tonight, taking on the Canucks to wrap up their preseason out in Vancouver. Puck drop just after 8. Week 18 in the CFL kicks off tonight. Ottawa hosting the Riders. That gets going at 5:30 in the WNBA. Game 1 of the finals, Aces Mercury from Vegas at 6 o'clock. In the WHL, the Oil Kings are in Moose Jaw tonight. That gets going at 7. BCHL, you got the Saints hosting Trail at 7. At 8, the Crusaders in Vernon. In the AJ, 4 games tonight, including the Kodiaks hosting Whiteford and Calgary and Devon. Both games start at 7. Golden Bears football in action over the weekend. They'll take on Saskatchewan in Saskatchewan. That starts at 7. And then on Sunday, you got Wildcats in Regina, while the Huskies will host Winnipeg. College football tonight. BYU takes on West Virginia at 8:30. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Rogers Sportsnet's Mark Spector and Craig Button from the NHL on TSN. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CHJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
You'll see us digging holes. No, we're not looking for buried treasure. You'll see us digging trenches as well. And no, we're not building a fort. We're GS Construction, and you'll see us in neighborhoods throughout the Edmonton area. So what are we doing? GS Construction provides rehabilitation and upgrade services to Edmonton and surrounding communities. Some of our underground utilities have served us for years and are past their useful lives. We replace them so that Friday to come. Find out more at gsconstruction.ca.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts, and play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksYEG.com.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air. You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio, from weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. Welcome back to the Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz with you, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. The Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you get in the game tonight. Lotto Max, $10 million. Woo-hoo. A good way to start the new NHL season for you, wouldn't it? Heck, you won $10 million. You'd probably fly to Toronto just to see the Blue Jays play game 2 on Sunday. You'd be like, whatever. I don't care what the cost is. Sign me up. I just won 10 sheets. No big deal. Because like, how much could you blow? Honestly, you had to be a plane ticket. Even if it's $1,000, $2,000, you get a hotel, $800, $900 a night. Whatever. You're there for one night. Not going to be that expensive. You just won 10 mil. Even if you blew 20 grand, which would be probably hard to do, but well, you probably could do it. Be a pittance of it. Now, speaking of fun things, how about the experience for the Oilers home opener? We're going to auction this off on Monday, giving you a little teaser to plan. So we're going to have 2 tickets in the lower bowl, great seats to the Oilers season opener. You'll also have a dinner for 2 at Studio 99, and you're going to get a behind, like you get a tour behind. You get to go to all the places no one gets to go. Right? By one of the high members of the Edmonton Oilers. I'm not going to tell you who it is. That's part of the surprise. And you also get underground heating parking for the game. So your parking stall, your dinner for 2, the tickets to the game, and the pregame arena tour. You get to go to all the little places I got to go on that tour a few years ago. And I've been like, it's my job. I'm at the rink all the time. And I'm like, I didn't know this was here. I didn't know, like, there was lots of little cool things about it. So it was quite enjoyable. So we'll auction that off on Monday. So plan ahead. If you're thinking about, man, I want to go to the home opener against the Flames on Wednesday night. Well, we'll be doing that on Monday during our show. Now, let's get to the spec reports brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. They need pipelines, install new sewer, wastewater systems, while also rehabilitating existing infrastructure to prevent critical issues. That is GS Construction, as Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, how you doing?
Doing great, man. I heard you ranting on the way into the last segment. Good to hear. Someone cares out there.
Yeah, well, yeah, fires me up. But anyway, so Spec, I was looking at the order roster. I think I've got it down to here's who I have. When I look at a lot of different reasons of why certain guys are automatically going to be on the roster. So like we can really go through the easy ones pretty quickly. Okay, McDavid, Draisaitl, Frederick, yes. Nugent Hopkins, Mangiapane, Podkolzin, yes. Those guys are in. You've got I have Matt Savoy as a lock because of his performance bonuses. If you send him down, and even if it's only for a day, you recall him instead of being an $886,000 player. He's a 1.886 player, so he's a lock. Kapanen's a lock. Henrique's a lock. Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Wallman, Kulak, locks. Skinner and Pickard. So that leaves some guys like Howard, I think, is close to a lock, but there's a slight chance. Depending on the health of Jones and maybe. Oh, the other guy I forgot, Janmark's a lock because he's hurt. Plus, he was going to be there anyway. They want to get close to the cap. So really it comes down to Jones, Philp, Lazar, Stetcher, Emberson, Regula. And I think Emberson's going to make it because of his cap hit, unless he gets traded. So now we take him out. I think it's Regula, Stetcher, Philp, and Lazar. Jones is an obvious one. He's going down. Tomasik's an obvious one for me. He's going down. But he's coming right back up because he has no bonuses and he doesn't require waivers. So that's an easy one to do until they put Hyman out there. So if I give you the 4 guys spec, Regula, Stetcher, Philp, and Lazar, and one of them needs to go down, who is it for you?
Now, when you say down, are you saying stay down and not be around on Wednesday night for the opener?
Yeah.
Are you talking?
Yeah, it has to be because you can only have 23 men on the active roster.
Okay.
Right?
So one of those guys isn't on the team on opening night. That's what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going through them. I believe the Oilers are quite of the belief that Boston would pick Regula up. I think that's what the Oilers think. I'm not telling you that's what Boston thinks for sure, but I think the Oilers think that if they put him on waivers, they lose him. So it's not Regula.
Yeah.
It's, to me, I think you keep Stetcher because he's a defenseman and he's valuable. So if you ask me for one guy and it's either Philp or Lazar, I don't think either guy gets picked up on waivers. So take your pick, frankly. Probably I may keep Philp and send Lazar down. What about you?
So you're sending Lazar. That's your guy? That's your answer?
I guess that's my answer.
Okay.
Let's say my answer is Lazar.
Okay. So that means 8 D-men, man. You have 8 defensemen. I don't know if he ever plays. So I think because of that, and when I listen to the head coach, so Janmark's out. I think Philp probably stays because, there's lots of size, younger, faster, all that stuff. His penalty kill, that's good. That's going to be something I watch very closely tonight. How does he do on the penalty kill? Because right now, Spec, I'm not sure he's in the top 4. I think the top 4 penalty killers are going to be Nugent Hopkins, Kapanen, not necessarily in name, Mangiapane, Savoy are some of the guys. And make no mistake, Draisaitl and McDavid are going to be on the penalty kill this year. Maybe like not in the first 2 units, but I think they're going to kill a little bit more than what we saw last year. I've watched every game they played in the preseason, and they've been on the penalty kill. I don't think that's by accident. So, Philp, if you're going to play, you got to be able to win faceoffs as a fourth line center and kill some penalties. And has he picked up the PK? Probably not as great yet, but it's still early, and we got to see how it goes. So I think, honestly, Spec, I think it might be a defenseman, and I agree with you. It's not going to be Regula. So it might be Stetcher, and that's where this is my little wild card, Spec. And we just saw a trade already, McDermott for McEwen. I wonder here if Stan Bowman is on the phone looking to make a trade rather than move a guy down and lose him for nothing.
Well, I guess, again, the question is, who are you losing for nothing? I don't think Philp's getting picked up. He's 27 years old. Lazar's not getting picked up. He's played for 6 teams. He's not getting picked up. You send both those guys down if you want. I would question if Stetcher's getting picked up. I like Stetcher a lot as a number 7 here. I think he's a perfect guy for the role. Veteran, proven he can do it, doesn't get freaked out not playing for 2 weeks and walking in your lineup. He is the perfect number 7. I'd rather have him as my number 7 than Regula. Regula needs to play.
Yeah.
Right? But if I don't think I can get into Bakersfield, that is an issue. But Regula needs to play. I don't like Regula sitting in the press box. That's not helping him one bit.
Do you think Emberson's an automatic to play ahead of him?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't think he is, Spec. Honestly, like, who got to play with Nurse? Regula. It wasn't Emberson. So...
Yeah, well, that you could have something there. So, I guess if you tell me that my 6 and 7 are Regula Emberson, and then I don't mind flipping them in and out a little bit, I don't mind that as much. I just feel like Regula has to play because he missed last season. Like, he needs to play.
I totally agree with you.
Right.
That he does, and I think they'll get him in here and kind of see how it goes. But I think, like, there's not many 6'4", 220-pound right shot defensemen available at 24 years of age who can move the puck like he does, right? Like, his big body, you look at him and you're like, oh, he's going to be a banger. He's not a banger, but he moves the puck well, which is the orders are like, you can get in the way when you're 6'4". Like, Mikko Mikkola wasn't a banger, but he gets in the way. You know what I mean? Skates pretty well.
Chip and chase, right?
Yeah.
Guys chip and chase, and they put it past you. They try to squeeze by on the boards, and when you're big, you can kind of take their lane up without interfering with them. And that's what I've noticed, Regula. Guys have a hard time getting past him, and he knows what he's doing. He is interfering with them, but he's doing it smartly, and he's not getting called for it. So, listen, a guy that hasn't played for as long as this guy hasn't, and he's been this good in camp, like, I'm here to tell you, if he plays every day, he should be 20% better by December. Should be 20% better, unless somehow the league catches up to him and he's maxed out and he tires or something like that. But I absolutely want to see this guy play and see if he doesn't keep getting better, because he should keep getting better. So, listen, Stetcher's a veteran. You're not going to catch me saying bad things about Troy Stetcher ever, because I got so much respect for a guy his size that's done what he's done in the league. But it's a business, and if he's the guy that goes down, he's the guy that goes down.
Yeah, it will be fascinating to see. It sounds like, Spec, the illness bug has spread, and Stuart Skinner, who was on the ice this morning, but they recalled Matt Tompkins, and Stu walked by me, and it didn't like, I'm not going to sit here and be a doctor, but like, I watched him in practice. He seemed to be kind of laboring at times. I think guys were gutting it out. You know how it is. Sometimes you get that flu bug, you feel good, and then all of a sudden you exert some energy, and then you're like, oh, God, this feels brutal.
You got nothing.
Yeah, I got nothing. So I think Stu Skinner might not be going tonight to Vancouver.
Okay, if he's the one that stays home, I know they called Tompkins up, so I knew it was either Pickard or Skinner that was sick. So, hey, listen, you'd like to get Skinner one more game, but I'll tell you what, there's no point in doing. There's no point in sending Stu Skinner out in Vancouver to play probably I haven't seen the lineup, but I think it would be a good one.
Oh, no, it's Maine. Yeah, it's Maine guys, yeah.
Yeah, what the worst thing you could do is send them out suffering from the flu at 70 or 60% and have them get shelled and then say, okay, season starts Wednesday. Like, that's just bad for business. So if Skinner's sick, then leave him home. Let him get healthy. Let him get ready for Wednesday.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. You look at Kris Knoblauch, 3-year contract extension today, Spec. Yeah. I think it's well earned. He's got a chance here. He's going to be in the top 10 for sure. Might be top 5. He's probably going to be top 6 at the lowest for quickest to 100 wins in a coaching career. He has 94 in 151 games. The orders go, if he gets 6 wins in their first 11 games, he'll be 6th. If he gets 6 in their first 9 games, he will end up being, well, I guess in their first 8 games, then he would end up being 4th. So pretty good.
Really good. And listen, he's a good coach. There's always, everyone gets a little luck in life. He jumped on this train at the perfect moment. You know, he really did. Like Jim Matheson, my colleague, often says, I'm not sure I'd be in the Hall of Fame if I'd have been covering the Washington Capitals all these years. But he covered the great Edmonton Oilers. He was in the right place at the right time. I think he'd be in the Hall anyhow. But Kris Knoblauch jumps on this team last year when they are absolutely ready. Like, they needed to get straightened out. They were firing Woodcroft. They were in a bad spot. And he got a hold of that team and got their attention and got one in the right direction. And now he's the coach of one of the top 2 teams in the National Hockey League. And he's got a lot to do with it. For sure he does. But we've watched a lot of coaches come through this town, Jason, that didn't have any bullets. And they didn't last very long because they didn't have much of a chance here. He's got a hell of a lineup, but he knows what to do with it. And he gets a nice 3-year deal, and good for him. I thought his comments today about how someone asked him, how did you get the team's attention? He said, hey, be yourself. Don't be phony. Players figure it out. I heard the clip you used it. He used the word phony. And we've had a couple of guys come through town over the many years that were a little phony, and he's right. Everyone figures you out pretty quick, and it doesn't do you any service. He's a regular, normal guy from Imperial, Saskatchewan. And there's not a lot of BS around Kris Knoblauch, huh?
No. And, well, you heard Darnell Nurse talk about how the thing for him was just his calmness in really key moments. And that seemed to resonate with their group. And I could see it. They got some high-strung guys. Not in you can be an ultra-competitive room. You need that one voice that just comes in, stays calm, the waters are murky. And I know Duncan Keith was huge for this team. You need other pieces where you learn from, at different times about that. And I agree. Hey, does he have some good players on the team? No question. But he's changed their philosophy on how they play defense. It's infinitely better than his predecessors were. He's gotten the most out of the lineup, whereas I think other coaches during McDavid tenure did not get the most out of the lineup very often.
Well, that's fair. I always think of the moment, if you want to think of the hairiest moment for this team, I guess it's going to be a Game 7, but I think the hairiest moment that I can recall for this version of the Oilers was Game 7 in Vancouver when there's 8 minutes left and McLeod fans on that pass, and who fired it home? The little American guy, Garland.
Yeah, that was in Game 5, right?
No, that was in Game 7, man. That was in Game 7. The Oilers were up 3-0.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And McLeod, McLeod makes a mistake in his own zone, fans in the puck, boom, it's 3-1. I think Zadorov, then lights, the building is on fire in that building. It was an unreal building in Vancouver. The last 8 minutes was loud and absolute. The Canucks were coming hard. And that Oilers bench, I was watching them with my binoculars, and I was kind of keeping an eye on them. And, everyone's trying to look real calm. And I'm telling you right now, nobody's calm, okay?
Oh, yeah.
It was like heart rate through the roof time. And you know what? I think it was Zadorov scored the second goal with about 3.5 minutes left or something, and they had to survive it, man. And that was a moment where the team settled back in, and in the last 3.5 minutes, after it was made 3-2, my recollection anyway was it wasn't a fire drill in their own end. It wasn't craziness. They won their faceoffs. They got the puck out. There's a famous story of Coffey saying to Bouchard, I need you on this one. Are you ready? Bouchard says, let me out there. I'll take it. They win the draw to him. He gets the puck out. That to me is from the coaching staff on down. That was a really, really hairy moment, or 8 minutes. And Knoblauch's personality kind of shone through that team. They handled it with grace and aplomb, and they didn't panic. And they made it to the next series just barely.
Yeah, well, I was thinking Game 5 because that's when Vancouver, I think, won with like 30 seconds left in the game, if I'm not mistaken. And
Was it? I can't. What was the one where they scored late and then Bouchard scored even later?
Ooh, I don't know what.
Remember that one?
Yeah, that might have been Game 4, right? Because Edmonton was down 2-1, right? I think it was.
It was a hell of a series.
Yeah,
I wish they'd play again, and they might this year. Who knows?
Oh, well, are you saying?
You never know, man.
Are you saying the Canucks make the playoffs? I actually picked
How
the Canucks.
How about a 1-4? How about a 1-4? That would work. Or a 2-3.
Yeah, well, 1-4 is not allowed because it's a stupid wild card, but only if they have the exact point totals. Like, come on, don't get me fired up on the wild card crossover when it's 4-4. Like one of the worst rules going. That makes absolutely no sense to me. But hey, I do have a fun. I was watching. I'm looking at Major League Baseball playoff. Do you think when the NHL expands to 36 teams, which is probably coming in the next few years, Spec, do you think the NHL should look at revamping? And you know how I look in the NFL and I look at Major League Baseball, when they go, the West and the East, it's on both sides, right? Like you've got the AFC East, NFC West, right? So you have West and East in both sides, whereas we just have all the Western time zone teams are in one side, all the Central, and then the Eastern. Would you cut it in half, right? Kind of in the middle of the country. So you have like an AFC and an NFC in a way. I'm just using that as an example. So you have the Western teams aren't just in one, like they're in their own, but they're each on each side of the conference.
It's the same in baseball with the American League, right?
Yes.
The National League.
Yes.
So no, and here's why. You know who else does it hockey's way? Basketball. Because in football, every 2 weeks you make a road trip somewhere. So who cares if you got to go all the way across the country all the time? In baseball, you make a road trip somewhere, but you go and you sit there for 3-4 days and play baseball, several games in a row. In hockey and in basketball, you're playing Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every second day. I don't think that it works to make the Oilers play a whole bunch of games extra on the Eastern time zone. I don't think that works. And where are they going to add the last? I guess my question to you is, where are these last 4 teams coming from? I mean, how many of them are going to be in the western side of the continent, do you think?
Yeah. Well, it'll probably be 34 first before they get to 36, but it's only a matter of time, Spec. There's too much money out there for them to not do it.
You do Houston, and that's your Western team.
Well, look who's already promoting to get back in the league. Arizona. It's a major market. I think that's one. There's always been talk about Kansas City. They got that great arena there. So there's, Toronto could easily, they build another rink there. They could easily host another NHL team.
Love that.
Right?
I love that. They're all. I wrote a piece like over 20 years ago now saying the next expansion site should be Toronto, and no one listened to me then, and no one listens to me now, Jason.
Yeah.
But that's been the next expansion site for a quarter century, and they still won't do it.
Yeah. Spec, this just coming down. The Jays and the Yankees, all the game times have been announced. It'll be Saturday, Sunday at 2:08 Edmonton time. So 4:08 Eastern both days. Then Tuesday in New York, the first one's going to be at 6:08 Edmonton time. On the Wednesday, if necessary, it'll be at 5:08. And then game 5, if necessary, in Toronto next Friday night at 6:08 Edmonton time. So.
Great times for us. Perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
It's longer ball games, but if they start at 6, no problem. I'm pumped, man. I'm happy it's the Yankees. It's, you should beat the best on your way to the top. Playoff ball in Yankee Stadium. There's just something special about watching it on TV and seeing it. And if you can beat the Yankees in Yankee Stadium, dude, you can beat anybody anywhere. So let's go.
Would you start Trey Savage at home in game 2 or on the road for game 3?
Yeah, I'd start him at home.
So then you're going to save Shane Bieber for game 3.
I mean, that's a separate question, I guess. If I feel like I want, can my game 2 guy could start twice, right? So
Well, no, not in this series. I don't think your game 2 guy can start twice because your game 2 guy is Sunday, Friday. Like, I guess he could. Your game 1 guy could go Saturday, Friday for sure.
Grossman's going with game 1, so I get him twice. My game 2 guy, if I don't think I can get him twice, then I'm starting Savage at home, and I'm starting Beaver on the road because putting a kid I think this will be his 3rd big league start.
4th.
To start 4th playoff game in Yankee Stadium. That's asking a lot of him. That's asking. He's going to be freaking out as much or enough without putting him in Yankee Stadium against that crowd. No. I start him at home for sure. What about you?
Oh, well, I wonder if they wait. You don't have to announce your starter. Like, I wonder if it depends. If I lose game 1, I want Shane Bieber in game 2.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
There's that too. So, yep. Hey, listen, this is the fun. Like, it's awesome, man. And the pitching staffs, like, I was focused on Cubs Padres. The score in those 3 games, Jason, was like 3-1, 3-0, 3-1. It was bullpen baseball, and both teams had wicked bullpens. And finally, yesterday, the Padres started to falter because every guy pitched 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
So now we get in. What do they say? Pitching and defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
The defense has been great. It's been low scoring ball all through the first round. Let's see if that changes, but. Let's go, man. Blue Jays, Yankees. Can't wait for it.
Yeah. Awesome stuff, Spec. Have yourself a great day. We will chat with you next week. That's the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. We have Craig Button joining us next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Yeah, can I get yes. A common reaction from a veggie lover. Always scanning, searching, longing. But wait, what is this we see? The new McVeggie, now at McDonald's.
Buy more, save more, give more at The Brick. This week at The Brick, save up to 30% off furniture and up to 15% off major appliances. Your stellar night's sleep starts with select mattresses up to 40% off. Or score a Made in Canada mattress from just $159. Find store-wide savings on upholstery, major appliances, and big screen TVs, with a portion of proceeds donated to the Stollery. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
At Fountain Tire, we're fluent in saving you money. Fluent? Yes, we've mastered the language of deals. Like right now, you can save up to 25% off select tires and up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Plus, $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires. All until October 18th. I'm sorry, I don't speak deals. Spend less, save more when you buy around black things from us. Oh, got it. Restrictions apply. Book your appointment online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air. You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
At Fountain Tire, we're fluent in saving you money. Fluent? Yes, we've mastered the language of deals. Like right now, you can save up to 25% off select tires and up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Plus, $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires. All until October 18th. I'm sorry, I don't speak deals. Spend less, save more when you buy around black things from us. Oh, got it. Restrictions apply. Book your appointment online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantor. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantor's products not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at Cantor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. How are you? Your work week is almost over. And quick shout out to, I know all the teachers because they're facing a little bit of uncertainty now, their final day of work. And obviously, you know what? You stand up for your beliefs and what you want to do and, you know, without a paycheck. So, it's a lot easy sometimes to want to do stuff without putting any skin in the game, but they're obviously putting a lot of skin in the game, fighting for the education of a lot of the kids. It's one thing I don't understand. Oh, teachers don't care about the kids. What? That's why they're doing it, because they care about the kids. And right now, the learning conditions, they don't feel, and they're in there, they don't feel they're good enough. So good for them. Hopefully it doesn't last too long. Although I know all the young kids are like, this is unbelievable. You're like, I can tell you, his 11-year-old, he's just so fun. Dad, this is my last day of school. Like, at least they can't come back for at least 3 days, Dad. Some kid told him that. Well, his parents, mom's a teacher. Oh, that's the earliest it could be is 3 days. So he goes, at least I get 3 days off. So the life of an 11-year-old, they don't look at you know what? I'm like, hey, buddy, I get it. So they'll be having some fun. I'm sure many of your kids likely feel the same way. Maybe not the grade 12ers, though. They're probably like, I might want to graduate. So we'll see. Now, let's talk a little hockey as we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. Exciting BCHL action tonight down at the brand new Thompson Family Arena in Spruce Grove. Unbelievable facility. Get your tickets at sgsaints.ca. Great facility, great action. Check it out. Tonight, as we're joined by Craig Button. Once again, we welcome back to the show. He was generous enough to grace us with another season of talking hockey and pickleball, amongst other things. Butts, how you doing?
I am good, and really, I'm the one that's grateful for you having me back. I always enjoy Fridays chatting with you, Jason. Always a pleasure.
Oh, buddy, it's awesome. Craig, you've been in that GM chair before, you know, a head scout as well. So here we are. We're down to the final preseason game. Are most decisions really made up? Can a guy change someone's mind in that last game?
Well, I mean, I think it depends on the player, right? Like, I mean, like you might be debating, like, and I'll give you an example. Usually it's a debate between a couple of, like, one or two players that are destined for the minors. And you're kind of going, okay, can this guy help us more than this guy? To me, and I always believed in the Brian Burke philosophy. You know, the coach has got to feel comfortable with the players that they're going to put out on the ice. Now, let's just use a 23-man roster. So if we're looking at a 23-man roster, I always felt I wasn't going to get arguing with the coaches on the 12, 13, 14 forward or the 6th, 7th defenseman. Like, they're the ones that have to feel comfortable with the players that they were going to deploy in those spots. And I think that what you're trying to do is, you know, when you say, can something change? Something can change where a player goes, or a coach says, hey, I see that. I mean, because conversations are going on over the course of the preseason and training camp. Who fits better? How can we handle this situation? Let's put them in those situations. So on those, what I would call on those micro decisions, yeah, something can change. Now, if somebody's come into camp and, you know, they're clearly shown they're not ready, or they're like a young player, and you're kind of sitting there going, geez, well, he had a good game. Like, you know, if you're breaking it down to one game for a player to show that he can or can't, I think you've wasted a lot of time in training camp.
That's totally fair. There's lots of conversations. Obviously, the salary cap comes into play. Then you've got waiver eligibility, and we always say, oh, this guy, oh, he'll get claimed for sure on waivers, and then they don't. Like, how much intel can you get? And when you look at a guy that geez, maybe we'll lose this guy, maybe we won't. How much does that come into play?
Well, I think what you have to do is look at history. I mean, there are two things that happen every time at this time of the year. Everybody frets about who could we lose. We hear about this in the public sphere. Oh, we're going to lose this guy. And then you look at history, rarely do players get picked up on waivers. Rarely.
Yeah, no, well, it's very true. They don't. So I guess you just play the odds and you don't worry about it.
Well, what odds are you playing? You're playing odds the guy's going to get picked up. Again, we're talking about, I see the waiver wire and everything, and then, oh, geez, oh, my God, he might be on waivers. Oh, look, he's on waivers. Oh, we could lose him. No, you're not. If you lose a guy, good, fine, you lost him. You were sending him down anyway. Yeah. He wasn't good enough to be on your team.
Yeah,
and I'm going to go back. So you're talking about losing your 14th forward or your 8th defenseman? Really? I mean, there's nothing that happens more regularly. It's like, it's like daylight savings time. We're going to go to standard time, and when the clock is going to happen at this time of the year. Oh my God, who could be good waiver pickups? Yeah, just about certainty you can say 99.8% of them are not good waiver pickups. Remember, you got players already in your own minor league system. You only have so many contracts available to you.
Yeah. No, well, that's true too, for sure. So, what about trades, Craig? Like we just saw one today, in New Jersey and Ottawa, obviously the physical players, one's a defenseman, one's a forward, and away they go, McEwen for McDermott. But did you get lots of guys hey, you know what, geez, I don't want to push a guy down or whatever. Maybe we think this guy's going to get claimed for sure by some team because we look and this team doesn't have any good defensemen, so they might claim him. Do trades actually, like, how hard is it a trade to make? Because you're like, well, why would I trade you something if I could get him for free?
Yeah, but again, let's go back to what I just said. You have a limit on contracts, right? You need a place to for players to play. You've already committed to players, and remember, the NHL teams have spent the summer signing guys. They've spent the summer signing their players that can be depth players for their minor league operation and everything. So now when you go and add a player and you don't remove a player, well, that puts a stress. That puts a stress on your minor league coaches potentially. That puts a stress on your contract situation potentially. So yeah, you're exploring where like a change of scenery could benefit a player, and certainly you're in conversations with different managers talking about that. But again, it's a rarity. It's a rarity that these things unfold with changes of venue, and the changes of venue happen at the end of the year when players aren't qualified. Free agency happens, and now teams go and spend those days following the end of the season, beginning of free agency, filling their gaps, filling their holes. And I'll say this again: if you got holes in September, you didn't do your work in July and August.
Craig Button joins us here on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Craig, I see a lot of people saying, oh, you know what, I'm not sure the Oilers are, they're way worse than they were last year. And I'm kind of like, I don't really see it. First of all, I think their defense core is better, right, than the one they had to start the regular season last year because Jake Wallman's here. Then I throw in the fact that, Skinner, Arvidsson, Perry, Brown, Derek Ryan are out. And then you bring in Mangiapane, Frederick, Howard, Savoy, and Tomasic. They're definitely younger. They're a little bit more inexperienced. That, no doubt. But I'm not sure they're any worse off. What about you?
Yeah, I think that to say they're better off or they're worse off would be a stretch. And I think where you're at now, change has occurred for the Edmonton Oilers, and just outlining, what's in now. And now it's going to be a period of understanding. Okay, how do these players handle it? How do these players go through the process of integrating with the team, and how do they play with one another? I mean, that's where we're at, and rightfully so. But when you have arguably the two best players on the planet playing together, and Jason, I may have said this to you, but it bears repeating. Okay, we know how great McDavid and Draisaitl are. I certainly do, and I don't think anybody else would say that we don't know how great they are. I'm not so sure I've given them enough credit for how great they are, because what those two guys do on a game in, game out basis to get the Edmonton Oilers to the Stanley Cup final of back-to-back years and just falling short, I think it speaks to an even higher level of greatness than maybe we're ready to give them. And I think that's unique. I think it's rare in the NHL. So when you have those two guys and you just pointed out some other areas of the team, and you're going to say they're worse off. Well, I'm not prepared to say that. We'll see if they're better off, and that's what the regular season is about. And Connor McDavid talks about wanting to win in Edmonton, wanting to have opportunities to win like again and again in Edmonton. Well, that comes down to him seeing evidence of it. He's got to see it. That's the team performing at a level. Because one thing Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and all know, they know why they fell short the last 2 years. They know. And now they want to make sure that as they go through the process here of this season, and Connor likes the team, there's no reason not to like the team. It's about what gives us a chance to get on the right side when we get that deep. And I think that to say they're worse off is just, to me, I think that's a stretch.
What do you make of the Canucks and the Flames and what you see happening on those two markets?
I like the Canucks. I think the Canucks are going to have a rebound year. I really do. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think a healthy Thatcher Demko will help. Kevin Lankinen came in last year, and now they have a really good tandem. Philip Hronek was hurt last year, bad shoulder. And then you looked at Elias Pettersson. I've watched a few of the Vancouver Canucks games. He looks really good. He looks motivated. More than that, and it's funny, Jason, you hear about a player, he had to get bulkier, he had to get heavier, he had to get everything heavier and stronger. And I'm watching him, and he looks lighter. Not lighter like as a player. I'm talking or physically. I'm talking about lighter on his skates, moving, confident. He looks like he's having fun playing again. He looks like the Elias Pettersson we thought was a superstar. And him getting back to form is great. They returned Besser. Some of the players that went through the grind of the American Hockey League playoffs last year are going to help. They've been through the grind. They emerged on the right side of it. And I think that's really positive. If Philip Hedl can stay healthy, I think he's a good second line center. And I look at all the drama that surrounded that team last year. It's gone. And I see the Vancouver Canucks being a playoff team. The Calgary Flames, I mean, they're one of three teams since 2005 with 96 points that missed the playoffs. Everything went right for them, including other teams stumbling the Vancouver Canucks. And they came right close to making the playoffs. Good on them. I don't see them in the playoff mix this year. I don't think they're good enough. I don't think their blue line's good enough. They know what they are. They know what they're trying to do with the youth movement and trying to get going through. But I don't see a team, like I see a team around the 78 to 82 point mark this year. And they have a good goaltender in Dustin Wolf. I think they have three defensemen. We'll see what Perek does. You don't have depth on the blue line. You don't have scoring. You're going to have a tough time winning games on your own. You're going to need a lot of help with luck and other teams stumbling. I don't see that happening for the Flames this year. But I think they know where they're at, and it's not about this year. It's about continuing to build ultimately when they have the new building up and going.
Well, yeah, the new building I definitely think is going to help any organization, no question, right? The players like the amenities, right? And then if you can build a winning team, for sure. I think Calgary's in tough, Craig, because like obviously they're hoping that the two guys from Philly and based on preseason, Frost and Farabee look like they've gotten a lot more comfortable, and so they're hoping they can bring some more offense than they provided, because they didn't provide much offense, let's be honest, last year after being traded. But so if that comes up, to me, it's going to be tough. Like I know I thought he squeezed the most juice he could get out of that team, and I think it's going to be hard to manufacture that again.
100% with you, Jason. 100%. And again, not only did he squeeze as much as he could out of that team, other teams around them stumbled, right? So now that allows you to be in this this hunt, in this race, and good on them. You know, when I look at a team, I think they maxed out, but they were like their goal differential is negative. They were bottom of the league, right near the bottom of the league in scoring. And like right now, I look like, and I'm putting Zane Perek aside. He's a young kid. He's a 19-year-old kid, all the promise. But you have Anderson, who very well could be traded at some point during the season. You have Weegar and you have Kevin Ball. After that blue line is not very good. It's not very good.
No.
So you're gonna play in the league with three defensemen and a young kid that needs some support and guidance around him and allowance for making mistakes. You can't do it. And that's a top-notch goalie in my view. But to me, this is not a year they'll work hard. They'll be competitive in games, but I just don't see them. Like I said, I see them in the 78 to 82 point range.
Yeah. You know what? I think that is totally valid. Craig, as always, my man, great to have you back. We look forward to it. How's your pickleball? Have you been refining your skills? You learn any new shots?
You know what? I've been trying to work more on my net play, trying to and doing working in the drops into the kitchen and that type of thing. So that's where I've been trying to do a little bit more work on my touch around the net. Indoor season has begun. So, I always find the indoor season, you don't have to deal with the elements outdoors, can really push it along. So it's fun.
Well, I've actually got into pickleball, Craig. I played once a week now, and I've quite enjoyed it. I don't like how you have to announce the score before you serve every time. That's my own pet peeve. I'm like, can't I just keep the score? Like, why don't I just say we got 1, you got 3? But anyway, that's my small one criticism of the sport. But I have to say it is quite fun, and it's always great when you play close to that and just hammer your buddy back with a return. It's very satisfying. Very satisfying.
See, I've been working on the soft shot that kind of just as they go to reach it, they just miss it. It just drops in beside them. Like
you like that one better.
I find that more tormenting.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Totally fair. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for this. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good day. Have a good weekend. Take care.
There you go. That is Craig Button joining us from TSN. We'll come back. We got 5 questions and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts. And play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksyeg.com.
Whoa, who turned off all the lights?
Experience the new charcoal menu at Booster Juice.
Charcoal menu?
Introducing the Eclipse Smoothie, Blackout Booster Mixer, and Midnight Booster Ball.
Where's that voice coming from?
Dark and delicious, made with activated charcoal.
Can we please turn the lights back on?
Sorry, I'm just excited about the new charcoal menu.
Wow, that is good.
Right?
Available now, only at Booster Juice.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Hey. Sports 1440 is your front row seat to the wild world of sports. Local legends, national headlines, and everything in between. Your game, your station. This is Sports 1440.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is sounding the call. Don't struggle through winter with a furnace you can't trust. For maintenance before winter strikes,
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For furnace tune-ups and repairs to give peace of mind.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or to scrap your old furnace for a brand new high-efficiency one.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
And with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your new furnace, it's gotta be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Buy more, save more, give more at The Brick. This week at The Brick, save up to 30% off furniture and up to 15% off major appliances. Your stellar night's sleep starts with select mattresses up to 40% off, or score a made-in-Canada mattress from just $159. Find store-wide savings on upholstery, major appliances, and big screen TVs, with a portion of proceeds donated to the stall. Buy more, save more, give more at The Brick. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Batshaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank, plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Batshaw Concrete Products, 780-372-3854. BatshawConcrete.com.
When it comes to choosing a hair clinic, The difference is in the doctor.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. Transforming how you feel about yourself is a very personal experience, and I'll work directly with you every step of the way.
Physicians come from all over the world to learn from Dr. Elliott.
When your personal goal is to help other people achieve theirs, you must deeply understand the latest treatments.
Want to feel confident and comfortable? The difference is in the doctor.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott at drvanceelliott.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.455. Gregory, you have to repeat the score in pickleball so the old people don't forget it. Oh, Manny. Welcome back. It's a Positive Friday edition of the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, man, I know one thing. Pickleballers, they're pretty serious. Pretty serious. I will maybe get into it in the 5 o'clock hour about what I saw unfold at a pickleball court here recently. And I was like, what is happening right now? So it was wild stuff. I'll say that. It's the who knew that the pickleball would become the Wild West sports.
What's the difference between pickleball and tennis?
Well, the court's way smaller.
Okay.
And the it's really about it. Obviously the ball doesn't bounce as much, doesn't carry as far. Like, it's a lighter ball. It's not gonna, you can place drop shots. Plus also you can get right up to the net in tennis. In pickleball, there's like you can't step inside the one area to return.
Scoring the same?
Yeah, you get a point if no, because no, not the same. No. Because in tennis, I can get a point when you serve.
Right. By returning it, and then I can't do it. You can't do that in pickleball.
Well, when I played, I kept score the first. I didn't keep score the first time. I was just learning the rules.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and then so the second time, I didn't keep score. I was just playing. Like I guess.
But is it like 7-6, 7-6?
No. You play. I think that the game that we were playing was up to 11.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the scoring, it's not 15, 30, 40, and then game. It's not 4 points. So it could be up to. I'm sure I don't know what singles is. I've never played singles. I have no idea. I am like the most beginner. I'm not even going to call myself a pickleballer. I don't have a pickleball racket. Someone lends me one. Like, come on here. I don't have any pickleball balls. Like, I don't even know what they're called. So it's we go out there. The people in the neighborhood have started to play. So you have like a little matches, kind of round robin. It's kind of just fun exercise. I was surprised that we played for an hour. I was like, all right, you got to move a little bit. So I didn't mind it.
I think Craig Button was impressed when you said goodbye to him on the summer break. You said good luck with the pickleball, and then when he came back, you were a pickleballer.
Yeah, you got it. Wow, not a pickleballer. I've played it twice. Let's not stretch the truth here. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. And the more you buy, the more you save. Right now, 30% off furniture, mattresses up to 40% off. Get a better sleep, so you have all the energy to watch the sports. The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Question number 1 today. Only 3 more editions of 5 questions, so the NHL season gets going. So I have to ask you this. Who's your pick to win the Calder and the Hart trophies this season?
It blows my mind the Oilers have never had a Calder Trophy winner. When you think of all the players that have come through here as rookies, the fact that for some reason or other it never lined up. So picking with my heart, I'd love to say it's the Iceman, but I'd love to even Savoy. It sure would be great for an Oiler to win a Calder. And then for the heart, I'll go with Connor. I think he's going to have a nuclear year. Hopefully it's also the year he signs an extension.
I'm going to go Jimmy Snuggerud in St. Louis for the Calder Trophy. And the Hart Trophy, yeah, McDavid hasn't won it in a few years. I know at Daily Faceoff we had to put out our picks, and I think McDavid hasn't won it, and there'll be lots of attention around him. Everybody's going to be watching because, it doesn't have a contract, and he said he wants to shoot more. So I will go with McDavid.
Question number 2, league-wide. Who do you think will have a breakout campaign this year?
Ooh, that is like a team or a player?
I was thinking player, but you could say team if you'd like.
If I predict him to have a breakout, is he really a breakout player? It's very young like there. So to be a breakout guy, it's got to be somebody who's going to go from 50 points to 80 points or 45 points to 65 points. How about, I think Columbus had a few guys. I'm going to go Columbus and say that Voronkov scores 30 plus goals.
Well, I don't know who that is, Connor, but I'll throw Ike Howard in as a breakout campaign. I think he's going to have a big first go around in the NHL.
I'm going to say the guy I've said the last couple of years, and I've been wrong, kind of. Quinton Byfield goes from 50 to 80 points, maybe. Question number 3 for you guys. How do you like Major League Baseball's first round series only being played in one market? Do you like it, or would you rather see the lower seed get one game at home?
I think you should see a game in every stadium of teams who've qualified for the playoffs. I think they should be entitled to one game.
It's a lot of extra travel, so it's going to extend it. No, I'm like, hey, figure it out. Finish higher.
Simple answer. Question number 4. Jays Yankees this weekend. Who wins, how many games, and also who's advancing in their respective series? Other series.
Okay. Jays, Yankees. Well, obviously I want the Jays. I'm actually kind of surprised. First time they've ever met in the playoffs. So it's kind of unique. Something that you've never seen before. So if you'll be watching, you'll be like, oh, I've never seen the Jays and the Yankees. I'm going to say, I think the Jays have to win game. Whoever wins game 1, I think if the Jays win game 1, they'll win the series. If the Yankees win game 1, they'll win the series. So I just don't know if the Jays, I don't have a ton of playoff experience. I don't think they'd come from behind. I could be wrong, but out of my pick. So I think the Jays are actually going to win game 1. And so they will win the series in 5. And I have Milwaukee winning. I have Seattle winning. And I have the Dodgers winning, even though I don't want them to.
I think you're picking a lot of the same as myself. I also think the Jays in 5. I think I had the Dodgers as well. I don't think that Ohtani and company will be denied. I ultimately think they'll win the World Series. I too had the Mariners and the Brewers. So same thing.
All right. Final question, guys. I'm going to try something a little bit different. A little speed round. I'm going to give you 2 options here. You give me your answer. This or that, I'm calling it. Question number 1. Sauce on the side or drizzled on top?
You got to put that on the side so I can control my portions.
Really?
No? You going right on top?
No. Well, it depends. What is my sauce? Yeah, I'm going to say on the side too, the majority of the time.
Camping or hotel?
Not even a question. Hotel. We've evolved past camping as a species.
Yeah, I like camping like once every 5 years.
Party host or party attendee?
I don't mind hosting a party.
So when the frying pan comes out.
Yeah, that's true.
I go attendee.
Yeah, but do you even attend parties? You never show up.
No, yeah.
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 Board game or video game?
A board game can last longer. You get more people involved. Oh, I love a spirited board game, man. It's unreal.
Totally.
And final one. Would you rather have talking animals or talking babies?
Aren't talking babies just kids?
Well, they can talk. I'm talking like a year and under.
To me, like a talking animal is like a magic wonderland thing, whereas like a talking baby's like, oh, eventually this is going to happen.
I'm going to say talking babies because I think if you get to talking animals, it would ruin it. Because is there anything like you could make an argument like to find a dog that's like that is the most unconditional love you can get, right? The dog, like imagine if the dog all of a sudden talked, right? They're going to talk back to you. Like, no, I'm not ruining it. I'm not ruining it. So now I know there's other animals. So, you know, I guess, but seriously, do you like, you want the beaver talking to you? Right? Like, come on. So no, I guess I'll say talking babies only because, you know, we see them, they start to talk and you think it's cute. So I don't know, maybe be cuter. Like the good thing was they might not cry as much if they spoke to you and be like, hey, you know, clean my diaper, dumbass. Right? It would probably be easier.
I don't really want to know what the birds are saying, Connor. I don't really care. It's probably not that like.
What about the birds and the bees?
Well, the bees
and
are
what
just
they're
saying buzz.
What about what the birds and the bees are saying? That could be riveting stuff.
Cool. That's it.
You want to hear talking babies, don't you, Connor? Because you're in the frame of life
Well,
where you're trying to interpret what your son is saying.
Absolutely. And also they're contained to your like their houses for the most part. Like if you had to hear every animal talk, it'd be insane.
It's true.
You couldn't turn them off.
Squirrels, am I really that interested in their insights on the day?
Hey, is Benny crawling yet, by the way?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Is he pulling himself up on chairs?
He's getting into that one, yeah. He's really starting to now sit up in his crib. So he won't sleep. We'll look at him and he's just sitting there. Looking at the wall.
Oh, yeah, but eventually he goes to sleep.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's all good. Yeah. Just let him don't get sucked in. Just stay away. Let him figure it out. Self-soothing is like the greatest thing to teach.
He copes. He figures it out.
He does figure it out. But I think most parents would agree. One of the hardest things when it's your first child is when they cry and your instinct is to want to go help them, right? Because even though they're in their crib and you know they're not in pain, you know nothing's wrong, but they'll just be crying because some kids cry before they fall asleep. And then once you get it the first time, see it after, like that's why I think kids, second, third born, like sometimes maybe they're not as high strung as their relative because, it's just different. Parents are a little bit more relaxed second time around.
There's something in the human genome that when a baby's crying and it's yours, you're just like running down the hallway. It's very bizarre.
Well, you get over that though after a while, but for the first part, oh my God, you're thinking of what happened. Are they dying? Are they dying? So
I used to run in and check on Wanye Jr. breathing, just look for his little nostrils flaring so I could be confident that he was still alive, and then I would go back to bed.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, no. And luckily I never had that. So
totally did the same.
Did you?
Yeah, when we first started sleep training, just kind of peek in to look at his stomach going up and down, like, okay, peace of mind, and then I'd leave.
There you go. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. They had their goal to feed 500 families, and they are ultra close. So they continue it on in October. For every truck sold, they will feed a family of 4. See all their vehicles at northgategm.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
The Edmonton Oilers have signed head coach Kris Knoblauch through the 2029 season. The 3-year deal comes as Knoblauch was previously set to end of the season on an expiring contract in 2 seasons with the Oilers. He's got a record of 94, 47, and 10 with 2 Stanley Cup final appearances. The Oilers will wrap up their preseason tonight out in Vancouver. Puck drop just after 8 o'clock. You also got the Sharks and Golden Knights, Flames, Jets, Wild in Chicago, and just about to going in Pittsburgh as the Penguins host the Sabres. In the CFL, Week 18 kicks off tonight in our nation's capital with the Red Blacks hosting the Riders. That one gets going in about 30 minutes time. WNBA game 1 of the final has the Aces hosting the Mercury at 6. In the WHL, the Oil Kings in Moose Jaw. That starts at 7. BCHL, you got the Saints hosting Trail, also at 7. The Crusaders in Vernon at 8. And in the AJ, 4 games this evening, including Kodiak's hosting Whitecourt and Calgary in Devon. Both those games will start at 7. Tomorrow, Golden Bears football. They'll be on the road taking on Saskatchewan. That starts 7 o'clock. And then on Sunday, you got Wildcats in Regina and the Huskies hosting Winnipeg. College football tonight should be an interesting one. As number 23, BYU hosting West Virginia. You've also got Colorado State in San Diego taking on the Aztecs. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Alan Mitchell, host of The Lowdown with Lowtide, and hear from Oilers forward Trent Frederick. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Buy more, save more, give more at The Brick. This week at The Brick, save up to 30% off furniture and up to 15% off major appliances. Your stellar night's sleep starts with select mattresses up to 40% off. Or score a Made in Canada mattress from just $159. Find store-wide savings on upholstery, major appliances, and big screen TVs, with a portion of proceeds donated to the Stollery. See in-store for details.
Friday, how are you?
The Brick, saving you more.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business, and for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Yeah, can I get a...
Yes. A common reaction from a veggie lover. Always scanning, searching, longing. But wait, what is this we see? The new McVeggie. Now at McDonald's.
Backed by popular demand, Folsom Prison Revisited. The story of one of the greatest concerts in history returns to the Jubilee Auditorium. November 22nd. Step back in time before, during, and after this iconic Johnny Cash performance, featuring Devin Brain from $1 Million Quartet and an all-star band. You'll relive an event that changed the life of Johnny Cash and changed music forever. Tickets at Ticketmaster.ca and at the Jubilee box office. Brought to you by Stars and Stories Live.
Albertans celebrate a bounty of beautiful places to visit, boundless adventures to take, all in driving distance. And Sherwood Honda has the fuel-efficient vehicle that helps you go even further and appreciate more. Hybrid CRVs and Civics mean more thanks in your tanks, more great trips to be grateful for. And of course, Sherwood Honda is thankful for the chance to help you get there. It's a beautiful time of year, and it sure would be nice to hit the road with Sherwood Honda.
Score an A+ deal on 5G Ultra Home Internet from Explore. Switch to incredible internet speeds and get a $100 gift card for a limited time. Upgrade today at explore.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Fridays. You make your way home. Hopefully it was a good work week for you. And you're set for the weekend. A lot of sports going on. You are another day closer to the start of the NHL season, which is Tuesday. 3 games on Tuesday. And then the Oilers, of course, that's the all-Canadian doubleheader that has Montreal, Toronto, and then Edmonton and Calgary on Wednesday. The Oilers also have a home game on Saturday against the Vancouver Canucks. And if you want to go to the Flames game, we have a great package we're auctioning off on Monday for charity. You get 2 seats at the game, dinner for 2 at Suite 99, get a parking pass, and you get the behind-the-scenes tour. You'll love it. So we'll do that on Monday. So be tuning in. Now, it is the Gregor Show, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where the new app makes it easier than ever. Also, they got better odds, whether it's on NHL when it comes out, NFL, MLB, and more. Play it all at playalberta.ca. As we get to the host of The Lowdown, noon to 2, weekdays, Sports 1440. Alan Mitchell joins us. LT, how you doing?
I'm good. I like the weather right now. A little bit of sunshine would be nice. But if we could just keep it above zero and no snow for the next 2 months, please.
Oh, come on now. 2 months. Might be stretching it a little bit.
Come on. Sometimes we have brown Christmases.
And not very. I don't want a brown Christmas, do you?
Well, I don't want to shovel anything, man.
Oh, come on. Al, at your age, you probably got a snowblower anyway. What are you talking about?
I shovel for 2 hours anyway.
Oh,
so
yeah. Well, you're newly married now, though, Al. You're just flying. You just float around shoveling that thing. No big deal, right? This is like your first, it's a honeymoon phase this wintertime. Yeah. Oh, it'd be unbelievable for you.
It's true. Everything is going well for low tide right now. That's true.
Yeah, that's good. The winter of low tide. That's what we should call it. Right. I like it.
Winter is coming.
Yeah,
there
right.
you go.
I got a lot of jokes, but we'll leave that alone. Okay. The Edmonton Oilers, Al. So I don't know if you read my article today at Oilers Nation on, but I broke it down who I think is going to be on. I think most of us would agree, who are some of the obvious ones, McDavid, Draisaitl, Frederic, Mangiapane, Nugent Hopkins, Podkolzin, and Kapanen, Henrique, Janmark, there's 9. Savoy I have as a lock 10. Tomasek will go down for a day and then come back up. He's going to be on the first unit power play. I think Ike Howard's going to be here as well. So it comes down to Philp or Lazar, as well as Stetcher and Regula. I think one of those 4 has to get placed on waivers, Al, or I guess potentially traded. Who do you think it is? Or do you see another scenario?
No, I think it's one of those guys, and I think it might be. Here's the problem I'm having. I'm really cheering like hell for Phil. Just as a human being and somebody who's overcome a lot and has worked really hard to get where he is. I probably have interviewed Curtis Lazar 5 times. And he is such a kind and wonderful human being. I've never seen anything written or said about him that's negative. And yet you have to keep defensemen. I think that based on everything that we know, I think unfortunately Lazar might be the guy. I don't think that's necessarily fair, but I think it's either him or Stetcher. I'll put it that way. And Stetcher, I worry about because you can waive a defenseman, and then one of your defensemen gets hurt the next day, and you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, well, it's a challenge. The other challenge is keeping 8 defensemen. Like, does the 8th defender ever play? Right? Like, yeah, right. That because that's the thing. I guess, are you going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so they play every third game? Because I don't see any of the top 5 guys coming out unless there's an injury.
No, it's true. And actually, I think that you want to have 6, 7 kind of rotate, but you always worry, like, what if Regula just is really good and Emberson sits for a long time? Then you've got to work him in there some way, or vice versa. Mm-hmm. Maybe Emberson, does the same thing. You always want to have. You never want to see one of those guys sit for a long time, because then back in the olden days, they used to have them, guys who played like 12 games a year, and they were kind of the extra defenseman, and that's no good. You don't want that, because they're not fresh when they come out, and they're not effective. So you make a good point. It's a great problem to have, and credit to a lot of guys who played well enough to make this team. I didn't think the Oilers were going to have any issues coming down to the playable roster, but they have, because players have put themselves in a position to be able to make it.
Yeah, no, that's totally valid. It will be an interesting one to see kind of how they do and how they play out. Tomasek, Al, I can tell you, is going to be on the first unit power play for the Edmonton Oilers to start this season. And he won't be like the typical Hyman Perry net front presence that we've seen. He'll be there, of course, but they really like his playmaking ability and his shooting ability as a right winger. I'm very intrigued to see what new looks and wrinkles this first unit power play is going to unveil with Tomasek.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think that Oilers fans and media too, we have to kind of reset our opinions about the European signings by this team. This is a different era, a different management group, and they aimed high and they won some players that other teams were interested in too. And Tomasic is the first of them, maybe Leppinen and maybe Szymanski later on or next year or whenever it is. But this is a player who has, he has some real skill and not just, two-way skill. You were the one that mentioned it. Internationally, he can sometimes, play more of a depth role. But if he's on the power play, he's going to get lots of opportunities. And if he catches a few of those goals, he's going to stay there. I like him in front of the net because he can hold his ground, but he also has enough skill to make passing plays and obviously shoot the puck. He's got a great shot. So it's exciting because this is a free player who may be able to, post some really strong offensive numbers. And the Oilers, traditionally, when they signed Leonard Petrell or Gaetan Haas, no disrespect, they were looked upon as maybe depth guys or guys who were going to block out, prospects who weren't fast or talented enough. This is a player who could make enough of a difference to play on a very important special teams, and third line center is nothing to sniff at either. That's a primary role on a team that has been to the Stanley Cup 2 years in a row.
Yeah. Hey, the Oilers are good. No debate about that. And I think the Oilers, like it's funny, Al. I see a lot of people, the Oilers aren't as good as last year. They're different. They're younger, but the guys they lost aren't their core pieces. Their best 5 defensemen are here, right? Their best 4 forwards are here. I don't see why people think the Oilers are so much worse off.
Well, I think that where you worry about year over year is the young players. But the way it looks to me, and I'm playing along at home and reading ahead in the book that isn't written by Kris Knoblauch, but I feel like he's going to play Ike Howard and Matt Savoy in depth roles, getting them into enough of the game on special teams to be able to have fresh legs whenever they're available or on the ice. But as time goes on, they may take on more of a role. Just because you start on the third or fourth line doesn't mean you end up there. So I think that there's a really big upside for this team that hasn't been there for a few years. These are really these guys got drafted in the first round. Savoy in the top 10. They're actual prospects with upside. So I think the names aren't as famous this year, and you're counting on some unknowns like Tomasic at 29. Who knows? But he looks good. But I like the upside of this team, the potential of this team come April in a way that the last 2 years where the teams just didn't have that kind of youth. And we saw with Podkolzin what kind of prospect or what kind of player a young player can do as he gets playing time and builds confidence with the team. And I'm going to be interested in seeing Podkolzin and Savoy and Ike Howard and where they are in April, because I think it'll be a different place than it is now.
Hello, Ty Jones is here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as well as sports1440.ca. Al, big weekend in baseball. What do you think about the 4 series and specifically the Jays against the Yankees?
God, I love baseball. I think the marquee series is going to be Dodgers-Phillies. The Phillies they're not last chance Texaco with this great team, but, Harper's been injured. He's getting older. Trey Turner's getting older. I think this is their year going up against the Dodgers, who look lights out. If their pitching can hold, I think they're going to be the team to beat in the National League. Milwaukee's a lot of fun. Chicago looks real, but I have a soft spot for the Brewers because they're a small market team and they do it completely differently than say the Yankees or the Dodgers. And then the AL, I like the Mariners over Detroit. And in the other series, I like the Jays over the Yankees. I think the pitching will hold. I think the bottom part of the order will do well enough. And I think Vladdy's going to have this is a big stage, and he's a big stage guy. I think we're going to be talking about Vladdy next week a lot on Sports 1440.
There is something to be said for the Brewers fans, LT. They must be going through it right now. This has got to be their heyday.
Oh man, I mean, they're like they get a Cy Young winner, and then they trade him for 3 guys who are unknown but they like, and then they turn into something. It's like you have to be so smart to be competitive because you don't have money, and yet they do it, and they've done it for years now in the NL Central. And I I don't think they're going to the World Series, but I do think they win against Chicago. And I give them full credit because, they every year they have to trade somebody major away. It was Corbin Burns 2 years ago, Gavin Williams last winter. Lord knows who it'll be this year. But they've got talent and they've got bats this year. I think Churio might break out here. And I like the Brewers. I just don't like them against the Dodgers, but I like them against the Cubs.
Al, what about the Bombers and the Lions? Do you see either one of them potentially being that the Elks could catch, or is it just too big of a hill to climb?
Well, I'll say this. I think the Elks deserve to take it right down to the wire. Maybe not make the playoffs, but I think that they've earned the right to be alive deep into the season, and that might just be their victory. Is that, hey, we didn't make the playoffs, but we missed it by one game or whatever. And I think that their win, last week, I think is, I think it's proof that they're on a roll, and those damn that they lost, it was so painful. So, if there is a CFL football god, he'll bring the 55-yard line back, or at least make it stay. And I'd just like it to go down to the final game of the season. That's what I'd like.
Al, one last one for you. When you look going to the orders and tonight's game against Vancouver, it's mainly NHL rosters. Now, Stuart Skinner, it sounds like he's ill. They had to call up Matt Tompkins, so it doesn't look like Skinner's going to go tonight. So I think it's going to be Calvin Pickard. The Oilers lineup, and Wallman's not playing tonight, but Kris Knoblauch was very confident that he'll be ready to go on Wednesday against the Calgary Flames. Do you have any concern that Wallman's only ever played 65 games? He always seems to miss 15, 18, 20, 25 games. Is that a concern to you?
Yeah, I mean, it does. And it was, I think you have to kind of factor that in. But what I liked about him when he played for the Oilers was how effective he was. So I think that there is, there are just players who can't play 82 games. Maybe I play 82 games for the next 5 years in a row. But yeah, it is a concern. And I'm always worried about players who are like, it's day to day, and then it's day to day, and then it's day to day, and then it's more like week to week, but they're still saying day to day. And that's happened a few times with this organization in recent years. So I'm not sure that because you have to kind of play it straight, right? Like they've said it's no big deal. They're confident for game one, but it's something that, after you're told that and then it doesn't happen a few times, maybe you're a little more concerned. And they do need Wayne Wallman. I really like their defense, but I like their defense with Wallman as a part of the group.
Yes, very true. On opening night, Al, who are the Oilers' 6 defensemen?
Well, it'll be Ekholm Bouchard, Nurse Wallman, Kulak, Regula.
All right. Al, we will chat with you on Monday. Enjoy the weekend.
I will. I promise. Have a good one, boys.
There you go. That's Al Mitchell, a.k.a. Low Tide, host noon to 2 here on Sports 1440, and joins us every Friday. We'll come back. We'll update you. We'll hear more from, actually, we're going to hear from Trent Frederick, who, hey, talk about opportunity, baby. Trent Frederick, anybody you take him late in a pool, that could be a steal. Going to start on the top line with McDavid and Draisaitl. He's also going to be on the second unit power play. Talk to him about that and more when we return on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts, and play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocks.yeg.com.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance. When you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Is your company
in Hawaii? The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in, the freshness of a waterfall, the lush scent of tropical flowers in the air. You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sandy dealer, backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
Buy more, save more, give more at The Brick. This week at The Brick, save up to 30% off furniture and up to 15% off major appliances. Your stellar night's sleep starts with select mattresses up to 40% off, or score a made-in-Canada mattress from just $159. Find store-wide savings on upholstery, major appliances, and big screen TVs, with a portion of proceeds donated to the stall. Buy more, save more, give more at The Brick. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Don't let scary high prices haunt you this October. At Nisku Ford, we treat you like family, which means no tricks, just treats. Come find a frighteningly good deal on a brand new Ford.
All October, finance and lease rates are as low as 0%. Or maybe you prefer rebates as high as $10,000. The Nisku Ford family will always dig deeper to find the best deal for your family.
The coffee's on. Drive into Nisku Ford or visit niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
As members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel your life affordably, reliably, and safely. Across the province, natural gas keeps Albertans warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. For more information on the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and its members, or to learn more about how natural gas fuels your community, please visit us at fedgas.com. That's fedgas.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular menu price order when you use promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Hope you have a big, exciting plan for the weekend. Lots going on right now. Hey, maybe you're going shopping for a Halloween costume. Or maybe you diehards, like you make your own. I've always been jealous of those who come up and make their own Halloween costume. Never was good at that. Most were pretty simple, pretty standard. Now, I've had a few made for me. My mother-in-law made me this, my wife and I, king and queen from like 1500s, and it is unbelievable. Like the outfit is like legit good. So we actually won a Halloween costume dressed up as it. Like, no, like she's an elite sewer. And I don't know, is it sewer, seamstress, whatever the proper term is. And yeah, it is. Now the only thing is it is heavy. Like you wear that jacket, like it is just like back in the 1500 man, but it is wild.
Multi-year costume, like it deserves multiple years.
Oh, yeah, no, I would. Yeah, I have kept it like for sure. So no, we can wear it at different times for sure. But you gotta know that you can't wear it to a house party unless it's cooler out because it's just too hot for me.
Really?
Yeah. Like the coat, definitely for sure. Got to take it off. So there we go. Now, Trent Frederick. When you look around the NHL, when the NHL regular season begins, is there a player who's hit the lottery more than Trent Frederick? I don't think so. He's playing with McDavid, and Draisaitl on the right wing. He's also going to be on the Oilers' second unit power play. Here's how I see the power play shaping up to start the season. Number one unit is going to be McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Bouchard, and David Tomasic. He will be the net front presence, but also sliding out, seeming some They're going to have a lot of different looks. I'm kind of curious to see what to do in the first unit. The second unit power play, I think you're going to see Matt Savoy, Ike Howard, Trent Frederick, Adam Henrique in the net front. And now I'm thinking it's Wallman. It's Ekholm. It's being Ekholm right now because Wallman isn't there. But I think once Wallman's back in, it'll probably be Wallman. So those look to be the so that's why Mangiapane not on either unit. He's going to be on the penalty kill. Right, so Mangiapane, Nugent Hopkins on the penalty kill. Look for Kasperi Kapanen. I thought it was going to be Podkolzin, but I'm not sold that it's going to be Podkolzin. Right now, obviously, unfortunately, he missed a lot of time due to his father's passing, so maybe that's part of it. But so we'll see on there. But Trent Frederick, second unit PP, first line, pretty good start to the season for him.
Savoy and the Iceman on the same line. This is going down. I am pumped for opening night.
It'll be, I'm curious. Like I think we might see a minute 20 to 40 kind of split for the first and second unit this year. I think they're going to try to get their second unit a little bit more involved than they have in the past. And then with that little slight reduction in the power plays here and there, don't be surprised to see McDavid and Draisaitl out of the penalty kill a little bit more this season as well.
It's been a while since there's two Oilers rookies that had this much, in my mind, potential upside starting from scratch.
Yeah, like I'm not sold that there's room for both of them all year long once Zach Hyman comes back, to be honest.
Totally.
Right. So, but you know what? You can get some good experience. And if one of them has to go to the American League for a bit, it's not the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination. It's not the worst thing at all. So let's get to Trent Frederick now. Caught up with Trent just about, last year, obviously injured, everything else. Now you come in, it's a new slate and, a huge opportunity for him.
Like you said, it's a great opportunity. I'm fortunate I'm getting this chance. And I don't know, I just kind of do what I've done my whole career, just work hard and just keep trying to get better every day and, be a complimentary player to those guys and just try to get loose pucks and do the little stuff right.
We look at a lot of the guys who've had success in the past, Hyman, Maroon, Cassian, bigger bodies who kind of just play a straight line game. They don't necessarily change it. So on the outside, it seems like it could be a good fit, but what are some of the things you feel you have to maybe be more aware of when you play with those two guys compared to maybe playing with guys in the third line?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely more creative and, they're making plays that I probably am not used to, getting. So just always kind of being alert. They're making passes that normally you don't expect to get. So I think just the 2 games I play with them, that's a big thing I've noticed is, it'll be on your tape before you know it. And you just got to always be, you're always ready out there. But, there's just times you don't expect them to make a play like that.
You've got pretty good hands, and a lot of it, like, you're going to get some opportunities here. So do you work on your shot different? This might be a dumb question, but knowing that you're going to be in better shooting positions, like, are you in practice, working, okay, maybe I wouldn't work on this because I probably wasn't going to get a puck here, but now I got to work on shooting from this spot.
Yeah, I mean, the Oilers are a great organization. They actually had a shooting coach here for a while, so I got to work with him, just different types of shots. But I think a lot of it's going to be around the net. Just kind of getting free and battling with that guy. I think that's going to be a lot of the chances I get. But you're probably right. I'll probably get some more chances to fire the puck. And I think that's one of the things I am very confident about is shooting the puck.
How do you use preseason? What are the things that you want to be sharp about your game, ready for puck drop next Wednesday?
Yeah, so it's going to be my 5th game now. I would say just ramping up. It's like no matter what you do in the summer, it's always different than the game, getting in different game shape. Like, definitely feel better. The last 2 games, I did my first 2 games. And I guess stuff to work on, like this game, I'm trying to be more physical. Maybe the first couple of games have been just in general, they're not as physical of games. And going to work on that. And just little stuff like, in the game, you're going to get awkward touches and just making plays like that.
When you're on your game, you can be very good at being physical, agitating the opposition. Do you feel better? Are you just naturally more in the game if you're playing like a little bit of a shift disturber?
Yeah, I mean, the more it's just like for me, yeah, like when you're in the game, and I feel like as kids, that's just like how it was too. When you're playing against your brother, you know, you're way better when stuff gets a little rough, and I don't know why, you just have another level, I think.
This group has talked a lot about wanting to get off to a good start. I know it's your first training camp with this team. Obviously, you were there last season, but just the importance of getting off to a good start. How do you, I know you can only control what you do for yourself, but how can the group ensure that you actually put that talk of a good start into action?
I think that's kind of what we've been doing this whole time. We've done some good, team stuff together, coming together. I thought the practices have been great. Obviously, a lot of guys have got to play 3 to 5, 6 games. So I think that's, key to have a good start. And I know when I was in Boston, the big thing was having a good start because we had a stat. It was like, I think after October or something like that, I'm going to blank on the stat, but we used to always talk about it. If you have a good start, there's a good chance that you're going to be in the playoffs. So.
Yeah, if you're there usually by American Thanksgiving, something about 80% of your team.
Thanksgiving, if you're in the playoffs, there's a good chance you're going to be in. So.
I don't know how much you knew about him because he was banged up at times, wasn't in the organization lots, but did you know anything about Regula, and what's been your impressions on him in camp this year?
So Reggie was in Boston. I didn't know him too well. But I've got to know him a lot. Last year, we were in the hotel together. We both were injured, so we were became good, best buddies at the time. Spent a lot of time together, and I don't know. He's impressed. I didn't know he was this good, to be dead honest. I think he's been unbelievable, to be honest. So I think the first time I watched him, I was like, damn, Reggie, looks really good for for not playing for a long time. And then I'm like, oh, Reggie's just good. It doesn't matter how long he's taken off. So yeah, he's been impressive.
Being a bigger body forward, can you talk about the difference of just when you go up against a bigger defender, just the more challenges, it's like they're just in your way more. They're longer.
Yeah.
He's a bigger body, and how that just can naturally help guys if you've got the skill set of a smaller guy.
Yeah, I actually like big D-men. They're not usually not as quick, and I'd rather just battle than have like a little guy kind of coming underneath. So I actually do like playing against the. I kind of like the big D-men's going against them. And like you said, usually, if you can have a little more skill, you can, go a longer way.
And lastly, I don't know if you're a guy who sets personal goals or not, but obviously, you had 2 really good years, 17, 18 goals, mainly 5-on-5, which is pretty good production in today's NHL. When coach talked to you about it, I'm sure you looked even in the offseason at the potential that you could have been a top 6 guy to start here this season. Does it change your personal goals? Like, do you have higher expectations of yourself this year than maybe in the past?
Last year I did the whole goal thing. I wrote everything down, everything I wanted to hit, and then I would kind of have like check marks of when I wanted to hit. My season was terrible, so I'm not doing it again this year. I honestly was like, I tried to get into all that. And really be aware of it's what gets you to X amount of goals you want, and shots and then the hits and all that stuff. And I didn't really like the year I had, so I'm actually staying away from it. I'm just going to take it day by day again.
Friend Frederick wrote down his goals, didn't work out for him. So I get it. You know what? If something works, a lot of people want to stick with it. Right? Something doesn't work, you're like, I'm good. I'll look for a different avenue, a different venue to see if it works. So Trent Frederick, mark him down as somebody who was not a big believer in the written down goals. It didn't work for him. Now injuries played a part in it, but who knows? Maybe he's seen it all the time, right? Got to get this many hits. You're putting undue pressure on yourself. Who knows? Things
worked out pretty well for him. We just finished saying he got a 8-year contract. He's playing with Connor and Leon. Like, maybe he didn't write all your goals down, but things seem to be working out okay.
That's a very good point. She said, well, might have not gotten everything you wanted, but still worked out pretty good.
Looking pretty good.
Not bad. Not bad.
When you talk to Trent, do you see a glimmer of why the Oilers would have signed somebody who arrived injured and we didn't see much from him to an 8-year contract? Like, is there an aura about him where you're like, oh, this is the kind of guy that you maybe haven't seen a lot, but we're going to sign him to this super long deal?
Well, I look at Frederick, and it is a long deal for sure. And I don't love longer term deals for players. I've said that many times. 3.85 when the cap hit, is going up as much as it is, right? Like if you look at, what was a $2.5 million player? Like you look at the percentage of cap and everything, what it's going to be like. So we're all going to have to adjust a little bit of how we view certain players just based on what their AAV is. But Frederick brings elements that you need on your team. And there's not a lot of guys in the NHL who bring those elements. And so naturally, his value won't just be in the goal, assist, point column. It won't be, right? It's got to be physical. I think he's a guy who can, because we had this text and I love it. Hey, guys, the one thing about missing Perry is he seemed to be able to elevate the emotion of the game when there was none. Do we have anyone who can do that? It's a great point, Frank. And that falls on Trent Frederick. He's going to have to be a guy who has the veteran savvy to realize, okay, it's kind of a slow game here. I got to do something to get some emotion. I'm going to chirp some guy. I'm going to challenge some guy to a fight. Now, a little bit harder. Corey Perry was 39, was never known as a big pugilist, so lots of guys would engage him, right? Frederick's in a little bit different of a class, so it's a little bit harder to find guys just to drop the mitts. But you can verbally, get into just a verbal spat with someone, then usually that'll elevate the bench a little bit. So I think the Trent Frederick that Oiler fans saw last year is a shadow of what they're going to see this year. As long as he stays healthy, I think Trent Frederick, people will like him. He can play like a jerk. He's big. He's physical. He's a decent skater. I think he's probably got a little bit of underrated skill. And I think with the decent, I'm not saying he's going to be a huge time scorer, but would it surprise me if Trent Frederick popped 25 goals if he played in the top 6 all year long? It wouldn't. He scored 17 and 18 playing the third lines. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. Take a quick break. We'll come back. Wanye's World and More on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. Use the Gregor code Gregor50. You make a $50 deposit, and they'll match it. You'll get another 50. Gregor50. PlayAlberta.ca.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Whoa, who turned off all the lights? Experience the new charcoal menu at Booster Juice.
Charcoal menu?
Introducing the Eclipse Smoothie, Blackout Booster Mixer, and Midnight Booster Ball.
Where's that voice coming from?
Dark and delicious, made with activated charcoal.
Can we please turn the lights back on?
Sorry, I'm just excited about the new charcoal menu.
Wow, that is good.
Right? Available now, only at Booster Juice.
Think your credit's not good enough for a new ride? Think again. Go Auto's car loan calculator is here to help. No commitments, no credit hits, just real answers. You tell us a few things, and we'll show you what you can afford. Text credit to 780-777-7777. That's credit to 780 all sevens. Go Auto. We do the math, so you can do the driving.
Buy more, save more, give more at The Brick. This week at The Brick, save up to 30% off furniture and up to 15% off major appliances. Your stellar night's sleep starts with select mattresses up to 40% off. Or score a Made in Canada mattress from just $159. Find store-wide savings on upholstery, major appliances, and big screen TVs, with a portion of proceeds donated to the Stollery. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy! Oh yeah, save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
As members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel your life affordably, reliably, and safely. Across the province, natural gas keeps Albertans warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. For more information on the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and its members, or to learn more about how natural gas fuels your community, please visit us at fedgas.com. That's fedgas.com.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I want to explain how our operation works. You see, over at the new RV store, they take orders and try to sell them all by camping season, and sometimes they sell out early. Sometimes they're stuck with a few that just won't move, and maybe they take a couple of used ones on trade. At No Bull, it's a whole different ballgame.
You have inventory arriving all the time, right, Rick?
That's right, Bob. The RVs at No Bull are here on consignment. Folks choose to sell their RVs with us because the customers are already here.
And you specialize in used RVs.
Better believe it, Bob. The new RV stores are not that interested in used models. And nobody in Alberta has more quality used RVs than we do. Not by a long shot. So if you want to sell yours fast, come to where the buyers are. And that's here.
And that's No Bull.
NobleRV.ca.
Just think, Kevin Carius has been covering Edmonton sports since before TikTok, Twitter, texting, and the Titanic. We may have made that last one up. Check out Carius in the mornings on Sports 1440. Your game, your station.
Portions of this hour brought to you by UL. Get your power play amped up with UL, supplying the city of champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. UL.ca is your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. Wrapping up the show. Making your way home safe and sound. Big plans for the weekend. Pizza night. Oh, it's always good on Fridays. I love it. Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And remember, get your tickets the day for Lotto Max. $10 million. PlayAlberta.ca. It's time to get to Wanye's World, brought to you by Action Electric. They are hiring second, third, and fourth year apprentices. You want to continue to learn and grow in your field? Send a resume, careers@actionelectrical.net. Good luck. Tell them we sent you.
Pretty exciting this time next week, Gregor. The Oilers season will be underway.
One game in. They'll be either going to the cup or going to the basement. Depends what happens against the Flames.
We'll be panicking right off the jump. I'm wondering what the storylines, I mean, there aren't too many spots up for grabs. We were going through it earlier. What storylines you're looking forward to going into the season starting this year?
Well, I'm intrigued by David Tomasic on the first unit power play and just the potential for different looks there. I am interested to see how Matt Savoy, Tomasic, Howard all kind of slide into the lineup. And, of course, Trent Frederick on the top line. That is, you know what? Pat Maroon, Zach Kassian are two guys who had great success playing there. And bigger bodies, straight line players, kind of similar. Even Zach Hyman, obviously had more success, and he's done it way longer, of course. But, so I'm not saying he's going to be at that echelon. But, I think Frederick might have more just natural skill with the puck than Zach Kassian had. And so, Kassian for a calendar year when he played there 82 games was really good in that line. Like really good. So, Pat Maroon obviously had the career that had the season of his life playing there as well. So I think there's a chance here for Trent Frederick to solidify himself in here and maybe be better than people are expecting.
Which of the two Oilers rookies do you think will have a better, say this season? Let's not look too far down the road.
This season, Savoy.
Yeah.
I think Savoy's he'll fit in because of his defensive acumen a little bit more. Probably moves the puck. Like Ike Howard's a shooter, and you never want to lose your shooting skill, but he'll probably need to improve a little bit on just moving the puck quicker.
What other storylines are you looking forward to? Is there anything else? The return of Zach Hyman to the lineup. Will he be as effective as he was before? How long until that? Will Ekholm bounce back?
Yeah, Ekholm looks fine. I watched Hyman today after practice, and I watched closely for a good 15 minutes. His wrist from everything there. Like, I'm no doctor. I don't like studs, and I'm not playing one on radio. But he didn't look like he was, favoring it at all, forehand, backhand. I think when Hyman gets back in the lineup, he'll be he'll be a pretty solid player. Obviously it's going to be a while to play catch up, so that's always hard to jump on a moving train. But yeah, overall, I think Zach Hyman at the end of the season when he's healthy, that's when they need him the most.
Looking forward to it.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Please do not drink and drive or weed and drive. Get home safe. On behalf of Declan Kruger, Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, I'm Jason Gregor. If you missed any parts of the show, anywhere where you get your podcast, go to jasongregor.com or rewatch the show on YouTube. It's right there. Let's get to the Common Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling Home. The no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Plan ahead, stay warm all winter. Legacy Heating.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Okay, so you missed it. The Edmonton Oilers signed head coach Kris Knoblauch to a 3-year contract extension as he was set to end the season on an expiring deal. In 2 seasons behind the bench, he's got a record of 94, 47, and 10. Obviously, 2 Stanley Cup final appearances. The Oilers will wrap up their preseason tonight out in Vancouver. Puck drop just after 8 o'clock. 1 game right now. Penguins up on the Sabres 1-0 after 20 minutes. Later on, you have the Wild and the Blackhawks. Flames host the Jets, and the Sharks head to Sin City. Week 18 in the CFL officially underway. Riders lead the Red Blacks 6-0 in the first quarter. Tomorrow you got Boatman and Ticats, and then the Stampeders in BC. In the WHL tonight, Oil Kings are in action, taking on Moose Jaw. That gets going just after 7. In the BCHL, you got the Saints hosting Trail. 7 o'clock puck drop, Crusaders in Vernon. That'll get going at 8. In the AJ 4 games this evening, including the Kodiaks hosting Whitecourt, Calgary and Devon. Both those games will start at 7. WNBA game 1 of the final goes tonight from Vegas. Aces Mercury tip off in about 10 minutes time. At the collegiate football level in Canada, Golden Bears in action this weekend. They'll take on the Saskatchewan Huskies tomorrow on the road. I'll start at 7. You've also got Wildcats in Regina on Sunday. Also, Huskies hosting Winnipeg. And down south, number 23 BYU hosting West Virginia. That gets going at 8:30 right now. South Florida up on Charlotte 16-0. And Delaware leads the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers 10-3 in the second quarter. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, it is Fox Sports Radio all night long. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with the Saturday Sports setup. And remember, Blue Jays baseball, Saturday and Sunday, AM feed only. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.